moving, baby. Let's
Are
go.
we rolling?
If I don't know the
Gentlemen,
email,
welcome to the show, man. I actually want to let everybody know that it's the year 2050 right now. We're in the future.
Yeah.
About what we're going to be talking about. Isn't that how we feel?
nah,
Kind of?
somewhat.
Somewhat?
We're moving into the technology.
When
of the
was this
future.
stuff first? When did it first arrive on the scene? It wasn't in Canada, first of all.
It was in Europe.
It was Europe, yeah.
And then they probably brought it to the States a while back. And then
Wasn't embraced.
it was, but like everything takes traction in the
Yeah.
States first, and
Yeah.
then comes here, and then we opened up in 2015, mid-year, and then we kind of brought it here with maybe one or two other guys that started it. So, but, yeah,
And as you said, grooving it ever since.
Well, first of all, you've got history in drywall. How many years of drywall do you have?
well,
Andre?
I was in mainly residential, light commercial, and my good buddy was in commercial, so between both of us, we had over 30, 40 years experience.
So why is it that you guys, the drywall trade itself, thinks that they're the most important trade in the entire job? That no structure, no building, no nothing could be done unless it's about drywall.
Yeah, studs go up, and everybody's got to put their stuff in the studs.
Well, maybe because, Manny, you don't see the lumber, you don't see the framing, you don't see
It's
the
the
outside.
first time you see the full shape
Exactly.
of the home.
When you're
on the
actually walking
interior.
into a room,
Yes.
when those walls go up, that drywall goes on, you actually get a visual.
I know,
of
as soon as the drywall goes up, the doors aren't wide enough for the eagles that are walking around that structure mudding things, man.
well, and that's
That's a whole other show. We're not going to talk about that, but I was joking about
and
the
that
future
and that's
thing.
what we spoke about before is you can take that room and design it with our products. It just doesn't become a
This
square
is
room
why
anymore.
we're in the future. We're going to talk
right.
about I've known about this for years. I've only met you guys recently, but I've known about it, and I've been waiting for it to come to here on our doorstep. And now it's here on our podcast table, and we've got a lot of stuff on the table that we're going to talk about. But let me first share out the deets here. So I got Groove Industries here, www.grooveind.com, and then you can reach them at orders@grooveind.com, or Steve on my right side at grooveind.com, and then AndreJ on my left side at grooveind.com. Find them on Instagram under grooveind, and then their phone number to reach them is 416-629-3757. Welcome, gentlemen. How do you pronounce your last name, Andre?
Hey Peter.
Hate Peter?
No, hey Peter.
Hey, Peter.
What's your background again?
Croatian.
So a lot of Croatian guys in the drywall industry, no? They all think they're all Croatian
They
sensations.
all think they're
And guess and
awesome.
you know what the funny part about it, Manny, is they don't use drywall in Croatia.
It's all concrete.
We're all cement heads.
Yeah. So how come they come here and then they got to adapt? But it's not that much of a adoption. It's kind of easy to shift gears at that point. And then Steve Thompson, right?
Yep.
What's your background? What's your construction background?
Was
You're a well-rounded individual regarding construction.
a real estate agent. I actually started. I know this is going to sound shocking to you, but I actually went to cooking school. I'm a certified pastry chef by trade, and then
Pastry chef, really?
and then worked for.
What's your signature? What do you like?
What's
your go-to signature pastry treat?
sacre tort?
When was the last time you made it? Holidays? It's been a while?
Yeah, it's been a. Girlfriend doesn't eat desserts or sugar or anything, so it's like.
You don't need to make two. You could just make one.
and hand it off to Manny. Manny's going to get a sacre tort. And then got into the restaurant industry, worked for Winston's, worked for Oliver's, and then took over. I was assistant manager of the Sutton Place Hotel for 2 years. And then dad was in real estate, started working with my dad. And then as progression started, Steve, hey, a plumber. Hey, Steve, do you know a guy that does painting? Hey, Steve, and then just progressed into renovations and custom home building. And then Andre was actually my drywaller. And we
On a job that you were working on?
Yeah, a couple of jobs, a few jobs. And we became friends. And then life happens. And all of a sudden, he was looking for somebody to help out with sales. And I've been doing it for, 3.5 years now? Almost 4 years now.
And so it's it's been 4 years for Groove.
No. 2015.
Since 2015, so
Yeah.
it's still been a while, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So were you the lone wolf, Andre? When you saw this and you wanted to bring it here to Canada and start sharing it, you were like Long man on a totem pole kind of thing?
Well, we
Oh, you
like
gotta
the
hear the
first time
story
we
about
saw
this.
it, we booked a flight to see the manufacturing in
The
in
Germans.
Austria.
In Austria, it's Austrian.
Okay.
That point, we bought the machinery there.
As soon as you saw it.
Yeah, as soon as we saw it, and then we brought it back. Got a bigger space. We were operating out of 1,500 square feet, and then 3,000. Now we're in 9,000. So yeah, we saw the advantage, and then slowly knocking on doors, and word of mouth, and then getting in with one contractor to another with one of the suppliers, and then that's how we grew it organically versus going with like a bigger boy and like in the construction. We just wanted to grow small one at a time because we also were running our own drywall company. We had about 10, 15 men, and then we slowly introduced the product and the way we do it in our own job sites. And then we started talking with the bigger contractors, like 4 or 5 of them in the city that we deal with, and then it started spreading from there.
Did people stop? Like when you guys started installing your product on the job sites that you guys were working on, that you had an opportunity to install the product, were people stopping and watching and paying attention?
Yeah, other trades like plumbers, electricians, painters were coming
got
up,
it.
and they're like, "What is this? I never seen this." And they're like, "This is cool." I'm like, "Yeah, it's just recently started," and everybody's seen the advantages right away. Like even if you weren't in the drywall industry, they're like, "Well, you would save so much on here and here and here." And then we're like, "Yeah," and then slowly, one by one, and then most contractors would see the benefit of the product immediately. So
Well, there's 2 advantages, I would say, right? There's the advantage of saving time, right? Which is making more money because it doesn't mean that you charge less.
Yeah.
You can still charge the same amount, but you're saving time.
But we talked about that, Manny, in terms of and I gave an example of you're the guy that's building the building. You're not any of the trades.
Yeah.
So you're the guy that's put up the $200 million, and every week and every month there's interest charges on that money. So if I'm an owner and I see a benefit that I can get that product out the door and that turnkey, that person's walking in that door quicker, and I can just say 10 weeks.
Yeah.
You do the math on 10 weeks in interest charges on that
Huge.
loan, it's huge. So is there you're talking about time savings, but you're also talking about money savings in terms of that investment.
Carrying costs.
But then there's also the component of a quality standard and what the quality of our product is to a normal standard drywall corner or whatever reveal. And as we go through the show, you'll see everything.
Yeah, the other thing that I want to point out is that you guys open up creativity. There's lots of things that you can do now with these products that you create from this machine that will simplify install on site.
yeah,
Yeah.
And the word true comes to mind.
Yeah,
Right.
and-
I start talking about true 90 corners, true 45s, true everything.
yeah. Alleged
They're not feathered.
deficiencies and
Left deficiencies. You're not getting. These are all the things that we can talk about today, Manny. But at the end of the day, I've spoken to you about this. It's actually getting people to listen, understand, and then conceptualize how to put it into the system. And if you're a designer, an architect, right? Those are the two that determine what goes on in terms of the environment in a house, in a condo, whatever. And it's getting the word of mouth out to those designers that there is a box, and and we
Start
can
pulling stuff out.
Okay,
I want you guys. So how do you guys describe this? What do you guys like? Because I mean, there's people that watch the show, and there's more people that listen to the show.
This is a prefabricated drywall box. Okay.
1/2-inch standard drywall.
Yeah.
Right
Or
off the
5
shelf
Right off.
drywall.
Yep. So when I talk about living in a box, this is what most people do, right? So instead of taking a situation like this,
What are you gonna grab? So this is before it's assembled.
yeah.
The introduction of groove.
right?
That's where
So now
started.
I give the analogy of inside the box, opening up the box and seeing the possibilities of what prefabricated drywall is about, and taking these designs and incorporating them into ceilings, walls, light codes, all of those things, right?
It's limitless.
Exactly.
At that point.
And that is what, if you look at Groove Industries, limitless potential in what you do, right?
So where's the resistance? Because I know that off mic we talked about, and it's not just drywallers. That's not the only component of a building structure, right? There's a lot of resistance on a lot of trades that don't want to adapt new technology.
Okay, and I'll bring this up.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
So if you take this to a union shop, union drywallers, how do I pay my guy to put up a prefabricated bulkhead when I'm paying a taper per linear foot? Well, you're not dealing with that taper. Like the taper doesn't have to tape that corner bead anymore, or that corner, or whatever it is. How do they mentally see? How do we pay them? That's one of the obstacles that
they don't know how to price it.
Well, some companies they would ask us like, how would we now pay our guys that are installing your product versus traditional way? I go, pay them the same way.
Yeah,
or
but we actually
put the guys by the hour, or it's every company.
Is it beneficial to the builder? Pay them by the hour. They're actually going to get it done sooner, so they'll pay them less.
Well, the drywaller, like the drywall company is like, they're the one that's going to install it, or maybe sometimes the builder will install it prior to the drywall company. But mainly our installers are drywall companies. And, every company has its own way of doing things. And
but we have union companies using our...
Yeah. But everybody asks like, okay, like...
So when is the eureka moment? Like, there's got to be a eureka moment when these certain tradespeople look at it and go...
The eureka moment is the minute you show it to them. That's the eureka moment.
Well, that's exactly what I got when I saw it.
You know what? We had some companies come in. When we talked to them in the early stages when we first opened up, they're like, I don't know. And then like 2 years later, they're coming knocking on our doors saying like, hey, now we see the advantage because some of their competition is using the product or has our machine that we've sold them. And now they're more interested because somebody else is more efficient than them.
Like when I first,
it's evolution.
But when I first came to start doing sales, they were selling machines. We're not selling machines anymore. We're sort of out of the machine selling business.
You're selling the deliverability, if that's a word, of creative ideas.
Okay, but we're also selling, Manny, the fact that, and you know this and I know this, there's the trade industry right now is majorly hurting to get people into drywall, painting.
And what's the one thing that we can do to attract more people to get into trades?
What's
the one thing that was done back at the turn of the century, back in when cities were growing really well and you had a lot of workforce coming in? What's the one thing that drove them to come into construction?
Start training. Start bringing those young
I was going to say creativity.
Innovation,
yeah. Innovation. I was going to say, like, the reason that you saw skyscrapers being built in big cities, like, you don't think there was a waiting list to get to the CN Tower to be a part of that crew to work on?
Yeah.
Like, talk about any kind of new innovative buildings that were being built. You had a team of tradespeople that wanted to be a part of that list.
Yeah.
Right? So now you start coming up with products like these. You're going to get more people wanting to get into drywall because they're going to embrace it. You're going to get younger tradespeople that are starting in the drywall industry going, this is a no-brainer.
Okay,
this is how we should
do you want me
go.
to give an example of what we're just talking about? My dad never had a phone. All of a sudden, people had a phone. So he had that big box with the thing on it.
Audio box with the cord and everything.
So now, anybody, doesn't matter who it is, can be an Android, can be an Apple.
Podcaster.
Whatever it is, a podcaster. They can't live without it.
No.
Okay. So if we're talking about the same thing, you will eventually start learning that you can't live without prefabricated drywall because it's now part of the system and it's part of the talk and the mainstay.
It's so much easier.
Yeah. And we had this conversation earlier on today, right? If the world stopped today and you had to rewrite whatever, we're not dealing with male and female anymore.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah. We're talking about, now all of things changed. So, we get back to our stuff. It's not about, it's the fact that, yes, there is new innovation. There is new technology out there. And as I said, get out of the box, Open up your minds and see what's out there, and the creativity and the design concepts that you can actually use. Everybody looks at drywall just on the wall. There's more to it than that.
There's
Way
more
to it.
possibilities to that.
Exactly.
And then I'm also thinking about the relationships that you can start to build and foster with designers, architects, engineers, builders.
Yeah.
Like you're going to start to set yourself apart as a GC, as a contractor, as a subtrade. You're going to start to look like I'm not part of everybody else.
And we talked about this, Manny. We have a client in California. They have somebody that just sits all day and
fabricates.
And no, they have somebody that does, before it even gets to cutting drywall, it's already implemented into a program, and it goes to their warehouse and their shop. They prefab it. It comes to the job site. Boom, boom, boom. Bye. It's the same thing as when I go into a house, and Andre does when we manufacture something. You have 14 windows. Window 1, window 2, window 3, window 4.
Are you not doing that for the windows? Are you not doing that for kitchen cabinetry? Are you not doing that for tiling setup? Are you not planning and pre-organizing and prefabricating, getting things? Why can't we do that for drywall?
Now you're going to job sites. When was the last, 10 years ago, did you ever hear of QR codes? No.
But now
you go to job sites now, they have a QR code, and it shows you what faucet, what toilet, what vanity, what sink, what tile goes in here, what this is going to look like. Everything is on that QR code because it makes now it's a no-brainer. It's sort of like, there it is, go to it. Not, can you, right? All these conversations.
Here's the third cool thing about Groove Industries, what you guys are doing. Let's talk about health. Like when I went into your warehouse and when I've seen this being put together, there's minimum dust. Mm-hmm. And what's the biggest problem? Everyone talks about concrete and silica airborne, but there's a lot of dangerous elements in gypsum that if it gets airborne, it gets into your lungs. And I did a show with Teddy out in Kitchener, Waterloo, KW, and he was showing me, he's like, everybody's not wearing a mask and then they're breathing it in. They have wet lungs and now you're creating this paste inside your lung. Mm-hmm. That's a danger. So now you guys are doing less mudding, less sanding, less on-site dust of cutting, scraping,
less weight.
But if you actually go to a job site, Manny, and you go and everybody, and I've been to numerous ones, and you go in the garage and there's a pile of cutoffs. That's all going back to
waste.
That's going back to the dump sites. It's going to be like.
That's the fourth one, environmental.
Or it can also be elite friendly because you don't have any metals, no corner beads.
Yeah.
There's many benefits to it. So we make production based on people's orders. So not everything's the same size. So made to whatever their specs are. We have some stuff that are standard SKUs, but pretty much we get an order, we make it. So it all depends on how everything works out on site for different applications.
It all starts from a 90. Everything starts from a 90.
I can only assume that you guys, I think Toronto specifically, we're all very familiar with step bevel Toronto base, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the classic go-to baseboard trim. It's always set up that way.
Yep.
If you got a trim person that's working on your site that's got some skill, they're doing a jack corner. You know what I mean? That's the extent of the skill, but they're keeping that true essence. But now in Toronto, I would say it's all drywall returns. It's all grooved.
Yeah, it's all modern,
returns, trimless, door integrated.
Trimless,
It's all that stuff now.
Well, you have
which is all this stuff that I have.
Yeah,
like
you have
this is all
examples.
insane. I want you guys. What is the official name that you guys are giving all these returns?
That's if you go to a competitor's, they call it a D300
or shadow reveal.
a shadow reveal.
Shadow reveal.
But here's the funny thing: is I'm showing a 1/2 inch shadow reveal, but you've got what, a 4 mil? This is a 1/4 inch,
1/8.
or is this an 1/8? This is a 1/8. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then the other
Should I be showing the back? I don't want to show the back.
Well,
No?
it doesn't matter.
doesn't
That's how
matter,
it's put
right?
together.
We
but
have our technology. It actually embeds we came up with this in terms of what's the best product to use, and you're not. If you take say for example another product, you have to snip it, cut it, whatever. If you're miter it. So if you're doing this, we can provide inside corners, outside corners, C-caps, all of that for either your shadow reveal or whatever. Now you can put all our product in, or for example, if you're doing it, like we've had a house where you did that reveal, they did it for a baseboard. So now instead of using lightweight board, we use green board, which is solid board. It's mold resistant, water resistant. Now it's going to the floor. We put a D200 on the bottom, so when it hits the floor, you're not getting penetration through the bottom of the drywall, right? All of these things that, you have to really analyze, okay, how is it going to be used? And everybody says the same. We talked about this with our corners. When you bang our corner, is it going to dent? Doesn't matter if it's our product or other products that are out there. We are not getting reverberation through the entire corner. You're just hitting drywall. And drywall is much stronger than a
air gap
behind a regular corner bead, right? Because you still have that void of where the two butts meet. You still have the void in there. But at the same time, you're getting a true 90. You're not getting, there is a bevel, a rounded bevel on every, doesn't matter, even on a plastic bead, you're still getting a bevel. It's still there.
There's nothing worse than you're the trim person on a job site. And what's the first thing they do? They go to the corners and start taking a look at them. If they've got any common sense, they start seeing, okay, well, what exactly is it? It's not 45. It's not going to be a 45. It's going to be a 47. It's going to be a 42. It's going to be a 43 because of that feathering going on with the mudding, right? So then that's where the whole coping world comes in. So now you got just coping going in. So you're compensating for something that is a traditional way of doing things, whether it's inside or outside corners of 90s. Where you guys, they literally could miter, cut these trims. If you're going the traditional route and putting poplar base or even MDF base or whatever, and you're cutting 45 and you're gluing 45 and you're installing 45 and it's tight.
Yep.
Tight to the miter, tight to the surface.
There's really technically there's not much difference between drywall and poplar or MDF or whatever. If you're taking a saw and mitering poplar or MDF, you can still miter drywall. That's how we do it.
Well, that's how you guys have done it.
Well, no, technically we don't, but at the same time, if you're using a miter saw, you're miter sawing it on the job site. Well, even with our product, you can still have a trim carpenter miter drywall. It's not that hard. So we have actually trim carpenters that buy it and install. They put it part of their package.
So what do you guys? You guys sell it as lengths, right? So
we go by linear footage. We go mainly 8, 9, and 10. If a client wants 12 because of a room is exactly 12, we'll accommodate that length as well. But we try to stick logistically to 8, 9, and 10 foot board. But we can do it 1/2 inch, 5/8, whatever material.
Yeah, and the 12s, I guess, would be strictly for the base if you're doing the shadow reveals in the base and then you want that length. But the majority of door openings, window openings, and any kind of details that you want to create on the ceiling, they're going to be mostly 10 and under,
some
right?
window returns that we do they're actually like the window might be 11. So they'll order a 12 and cut it on site. We don't get a lot of requests on 12. Just because delivering it is logistically a nightmare sometimes. But a lot of guys, like you said, an 8-foot door, or you might use a 10-foot product and cut it off. Right?
But the one thing that we have in terms of technology, Manny, is that we can create a tapered edge. And so if you're doing 2 8-foots, we can give you a tapered edge to butt to. So when they're meeting
that's
the two,
the other fascinating thing
right?
that you guys are doing is that you're taking traditional drywall that's on a butt joint, an end length joint, and creating a tapered edge.
Yep.
So what does that do? It eliminates 2 feet of feathering mudding.
There you go.
It goes back to you continuously do 12-inch box. You're doing 3 passes, and you got to finish perfect flat coat. Yeah, less mud, faster to sand, perfect. You don't get that waviness going on the wall.
Yeah. No, and like a lot of our products, if the client, they'll say where they want the tapered edge and we'll put it. Some guys are like, no, don't worry about it. We'll just do it like we do it. And we provide both ways.
This is like, I almost feel like Jack Hanna on the Johnny Carson show when he always brought the animals in.
Yeah.
And you guys have brought so many kinds of animals in here of like drywall returns and pieces and stuff. Yeah. But like this, how do you mud this traditionally? Like how would you make this happen?
Well, you got to install the bead, which is traditionally a corner bead or a Trimtex bead. And you got to staple it, glue it, and then apply 3 coats of plaster to it. And then...
and it's going to get feathered out, so there's going to be a little bit of a pancake pyramid kind of thing.
So we also have...
And it's very labor intensive.
So we actually are supplier to Lightline. So they'll send us the trims.
This your specs on the extrusions, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So then they'll send us the trims. We create a box, almost the same size as the one you had in your hand, with the trim already in it. So now you're not having a drywall or a taper, cutting a hole in the ceiling, putting the trim in, and then when you're mudding that trim, you're going around in a circle.
We've all done it.
Okay.
I know.
So, and I can take a light and I can show you where that difference in terms of where that the guy stopped it with his trowel, and because but the way that we do it is we just hand you back this square and you butt the drywall to it and you're mudding and taping that seam.
We've done a lot of application because a lot of stuff, like you said, gone trimless. We've taken a lot of trims and we've embedded them into the drywall. That's what Steve's talking about. And then either an electrician will install it and then the drywall would just tape around it, right? Where they're not installing the trim itself. And
so you have to show the
I
metal.
gotta show the traditional. Hang on a sec. I gotta show. So that's the traditional that you would do, right?
No, that's a knife edge.
That's a knife edge.
That's a knife. And there's your light. Your light's right here, right? That's the idea. That's the traditional way.
No, you're doing it the upside down.
Yeah, that's
It's upside down. That's the knife edge.
like this.
Yeah, it
Yes.
goes on
But
ceiling.
the
they
drywall goes here.
No, on the bottom.
The bottom.
Yeah, the drywall. So I need a piece of drywall. So if I go to
Yeah.
go, it goes here.
Yeah.
You got it.
Right?
Now, yes.
So it's gonna go like that.
Then the light goes on the top.
Yes.
Right.
But now I gotta mud that on the bottom.
Yes.
That's a bulkhead, yeah.
That's a
a lot,
bulkhead.
that's a lot of mud, right? Because obviously the face there. But that's a lot of mud there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of mud. So now you guys have a version. It's that.
Yeah, it's
Now
drywall
here's your
to
light.
drywall.
Drywall to drywall.
Drywall to
now,
drywall.
Now you're not. Right.
That's it.
Yeah. It's a given in terms of.
Like Alex, which one do you want here? Like, I mean, I'll take Groove Industries for 500, Alex. Like, this is like it makes no sense.
But we can also, the other advantage is we can do a 30 degree or 45 degree, right?
Yeah, that's a 45, but we
We can do a
You've
30.
gone as low as 30.
30 degree,
Yeah.
yeah. Which is like now a lot of designers like more because it provides more light coverage when you go
Because it
lower on
opens up
degree.
the aperture of the light.
So, I mean, let's talk coffords, man. Like, you can create
Well, that's a blind. If you
Yeah,
want to
that
use
could
it
be
a blind box,
It
a
could be a
blind
light
box,
bulb.
but it stays the same principles for coffered if you want to do a beam. And now I don't need to mud any of this stuff.
well, now if you do it if you're doing a waffled ceiling,
yeah.
you make it the other way, which is called a hat detail.
Yeah.
Right. And now you're doing it the opposite way. Did we bring a hat?
We have a C cap in the back.
C cap over there. Yeah. Right. So now you're doing a waffled ceiling. Now all you're doing is putting a track on the ceiling, and you're screwing in on either side of that, and you're done. You can.
But then the beauty of it is that it's a true 90 inside outside.
Right.
Is
But here's the thing. This is what we try to explain to everybody. The hardest thing, and you can agree with me or not agree with me, Manny.
This is the construction life. I don't agree with anybody.
Okay, so the hardest thing in drywall is corner beading, mudding, and taping.
100%. I agree with you.
Oh, you agree with me. Thanks, Manny. Well, and I got an agreement. Ding, ding, ding. So if I'm going to go do a waffled ceiling, right, a DIY guy can go and do a waffled ceiling. A DIY guy can do a bulkhead, right? And the advantage of our 90s is you not have to traditionally to frame the bulkhead. You can put an L bracket on the ceiling, L bracket on the wall.
Yeah,
and
you
you're
can
done.
go that way. I mean, it's true. You can do that. I could see DIYs jumping all over this and doing that bit of business.
Mm-hmm.
But if they want to do that, that's great. But I think this is more for the pro players in the industry. The possibilities attached to this, right?
Right.
Where it becomes very challenging that DIYs are not going to touch this. Like they're going, I'm not touching that because they're coming up with interesting ideas now. The pro people.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to. And I guess it all started with you guys with like just a traditional corner,
Yeah.
right?
So, and if you want to hand me that, Manny, in terms of, okay, so I'm doing a drywall return into a window.
So actually, you know what we should also be doing, because this is like not everybody watches it, but I always encourage everybody to watch shows so they can see what we're talking about, is if you could describe it. So that was just a traditional 90 corner
Yes.
with a return on it.
Right. So
and it's
this,
fully papered.
this is actually called a D200.
Yeah.
So traditionally, when you're putting the windows here, and you're actually putting this into the window frame,
Yep.
traditionally, do a J mold. This slides in. You don't need this finished piece. You can do a regular D200 with a tearaway bead.
Yep.
Okay. Or done, finished.
That with 2 screws, whatever, every foot
Right.
on the face
Now-
side, and that's
now-
what you're filling in.
Okay. So now I'm going to do a window. So technically, if you're doing a window, the majority of houses, no matter if it's in a high rise, low rise, or whatever, it's in the construction industry, it's called deflection.
Yeah.
Okay. So deflection is when a house moves. Okay. So if I'm traditionally doing this and I'm putting this in, more than likely you're getting a tape joint here.
Yeah.
Okay. Where we tell them, take this, cut this off, bring this past the window, do the bottom and the top, and then take ours and butt it in. And now this acts like a resistance because the drywall on the top and the drywall on the bottom stops the deflection, and you're not getting a deficiency in cracking for your tape.
It won't crack, huh?
No.
Does it matter if we're talking about paper or fiber use or
Well, fiber fuse is always better than a regular paper bead.
But you can use any of these applications on any of these products.
Some
right?
guys prefer paper tape, but I guess it depends how you install it and what experience you have. Like some guys been using like Durabond or sheetrock, pre-filled or not pre-filled.
Yeah.
So, if a good taper knows his job, right? So he'll make sure it doesn't crack. He'll pre-fill it, he'll V-groove it, pre-fill it, and then some guys are using fiber fuse because they say it's stronger over some other products.
I like it. It's a good product.
Yeah, we like it too. And then
You're off the mic. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for a D200.
Listen, this is like a roller coaster. You got to
this is
stay
a
seated at all
D200 here.
times when you're doing the show.
Where's our D200?
well, that's a D200.
The
but- okay, here, I'll get-
D300?
Yeah, Andre, I'll grab it. It's the one with the shadow reveal. That's it.
right?
Yeah.
Here, you want this?
Okay. So,
This
Manny?
the pilot has
Manny?
put the no
Manny?
standing sign on.
Manny, this is you wanted me to do this, so we're
Yeah,
gonna
no,
do
I
this
totally
for
want
you.
you. So,
Okay, so this
yeah,
is,
you brought in some Trintex in the studio.
okay, so this is a regular D300 shadow reveal trim tex. Okay,
Yeah, we're all familiar with it.
all right. So mud.
Yes.
So back to this whole thing of deficiencies, right?
Pancake, pyramid, flat, feathered.
But deficiencies.
Average what? 6 inches spread
Okay.
on that?
So
Yeah.
I want a shadow reveal right to the floor.
Okay.
Okay, fine. I'm going to put it on the floor. Now, I got a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Bang,
Oh yeah.
bang.
I know.
Okay. Now, there's ours. You're not damaging anything. Right? But you can only get this in 1/2 inch.
No, you get 5/8.
Oh, 5/8.
They
You
sell
can
in
get 5/8 and
yeah,
1/2 inch.
commercial applications.
1/2 inch,
now.
5/8. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
1/4 inch, 1/8. You want 2 inches. We'll give you 2 inches. Right? In your case,
But you guys can
You'd
make
be
it
happy with the
whatever
2
you
inches.
want.
Yeah.
Right?
1/8, yeah.
What's that material there that you guys are using?
foam PVC.
Foam PVC.
Yep.
So you can actually hit it. Nothing's going to happen to it.
No, it's not going to break.
But then there's no mud there for it to crack.
No.
And rosebud or whatever.
But
right?
how are you going to hit it, Manny? There's like,
You won't.
no.
You won't hit it. That's what I'm saying. It's the
There's
mud
nothing
application.
to crack. There's not a bead there
Yeah.
for it to crack.
So we talked about this, Manny, and I'm going to do it because you wanted to see it.
What?
Okay. So
Well, no. So you got the corner. That's the number one go-to question. That you're like, well, how do I repair that corner because you're damaging the corner of a drywall corner?
it's drywall.
Hang on a sec. It's a full drywall fused together corner.
Yes.
There's no air in it other than the aero chocolate bar bubbles that are in the gypsum.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the only air that's there.
Correct.
So now if you take that corner, what happens to that thing?
So if I take this corner right now.
You have the
and
camera on there?
Or take this.
Okay.
Take that
this.
corner.
Yeah, take this corner. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to hit it. Okay.
Well, let me see. I got to see.
I hit
gotta
that.
See.
I hit that pretty hard.
No, you hit that hard because now you move my little sign here. So
There
you hit
go.
that hard.
I hit that hard.
And what do we got to hit? We got a little hole there that's about what? 3/8 or something? Not even 3/8 wide?
Yeah.
And about maybe a 1/4 inch deep.
Now, I just take some mud. Now, just say, for example, you don't like that. I can cut this piece out, put another piece in,
And just mud-
prefabricated, and
yeah,
mud it.
and
Now I'm done.
prefabricate. It's done.
But all I'm doing is just filling that in, right?
Now we know that if you had like it's
I
the
know.
traditional way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But that's all you're getting.
But
That's the damage that
but
you
what
did.
happens is now you're reverberating up the entire piece.
Okay, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to hit this down.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
That's all you're getting.
Yeah.
That's all you're getting out of it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't gentle there.
Yeah.
No.
And that's like realistically, that's carrying furniture like through the house, and you actually hit the corner really hard with
but what's the most? And I know this is gonna sound a little strange.
it. Was
Most people have central vac systems. taking that hose and going around a
Or
corner.
the Dyson, or the hose,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, if it hits that corner, now have mud that you're rubbing against. You're not rubbing against drywall. Right?
It's the vibration of the corrugated hose that keeps on hitting that corner.
Exactly.
And it starts
now
to
they
vibrate.
come out with socks. You put a sock on it.
Yeah.
The sock's very thin. But you're still rubbing mud. You're not rubbing mud here.
Yeah.
Like I've had this discussion before in terms of where you're going. Like in terms of you've had people. If I took my hand and tried to hit this right now, I'd probably break my hand.
Of course.
Right? Because it's solid.
So who's the most resistant here? Is it, okay, what's the terminology? You guys correct me if I'm wrong. Like so Americans call guys who hang drywall, people that hang drywall, they call them rockers, or they call them gypsum. Like what's their title? What's it here in Canada? If you hang drywall.
Because our local is Carpenters Union, so some guys call it carpenters, some call it drywallers, sheetrockers.
Sheetrockers. Yeah, I think Americans go sheetrockers, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, mudders are what? Drywall people mud, they're mudders.
They're tapers.
They're tapers.
Yep.
Here in Canada and the U.S.?
I guess.
I thought there was always a difference, right? Remember, they
Could be.
remodel down there,
Could
we
be.
renovate up here.
Yeah, guys that hang drywall don't tape, and the guys that tape.
Yeah. So there's those.
Hold on.
So you've
But
got.
hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Guys that tape can still hang drywall, but guys that traditionally hang drywall can't really tape.
No, it's true. It's true. I agree.
So, if I'm a taper, what's the advantage for me for this? If I'm doing a job, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. I go to a job. I'm the drywall company. I say to my taper, you got to tape this house. If I'm not doing corner beat, I still get. I price the house. I don't care if there's. This to me is a huge advantage because it saves me time. I've already priced the job. I'm getting my money no matter what.
it looks true.
And it's true.
And it's less deficiency, and that's all.
That's what we like. The majority of we're not trying to bash anybody, but it every single talk. Like when I first had the discussion with Andre, the majority of the conversations about deficiencies. That's the majority of things. And we talked.
There was concerns attached to your products. Of
No,
being,
no.
The
just in
concerns
the
are
industry. just
traditionally in the industry is
Yeah.
deficiencies. I have to go back and fix something. I have to go back and fix.
Well, that's
that.
where you lose money.
Yeah.
Every time you go back, you lose money.
Well, any company that has to go back multiple times for service calls, they allocate a little bit to it, but not if you're constantly having deficiencies. You can't
It's not gonna
allocate
work.
money to that.
You made money on the job, but now you got to come back all the time to keep on fixing things. You're losing money on the job.
Like
So-
we did a house here in Mississauga. So you're talking about windows. So now we've brought, and this is, you probably know this, you've now brought commercial applications
Oh, lots of them into residential.
into residential. And the majority of is aluminum windows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone loves them.
So we did a house in Mississauga here. You had two windows butting into a corner.
Okay.
They had 1 inch between the two corners. 1 inch in the corner. I want to see how traditionally you would drywall that.
J mold is longer than 1 inch. So how would
Your
you,
typical bead is guys will do it, but it's very time consuming, and
the art of mudding or art of taping or whatever it is, it's being in the routine of doing everything. Like you're getting into a rhythm of like your first coat, second coat, third coat.
So hold on, Manny. We gave him two 1 inch by 1 inch. There's a glue or there's a foam that you can actually get. They walked into the corner, stuck it in the corner, went bye-bye.
Boom, it's done.
Done. Finished in like 5 minutes. He can, like, if you, comparatively speaking, and we'll eventually get into this, we're coming to that point. We can take a video. He did a video, and it's on like, if Andrew wants to bring it up, right? We have a video of him and his ex-partner, Tony, doing a demonstration in their shop of a bulkhead, a corner, a C-cap. Andre, 105 minutes. Tony, 8 minutes. Same application.
That was a younger version of Andre, right? Wasn't it? I get that all the time, man.
I want to show that.
I got like there's videos of me in Home Depot, some stores there, and they're like, "Hey, younger version, man, he's on the display there."
No, it's me.
It's still me.
It's
got
still
great.
me.
No, but I saw that video and it's true. Like it took you so much longer traditionally. That's why I'm having a hard time with the adoption. I'm having a really hard time why these people don't understand how this is a positive.
No, most guys now are understanding because they have to hire younger kids. Older guys are getting retired. Who's replacing them? You know
who's going to get this? You're going to get a rock and roller young drywaller, taper.
Yeah.
We already have.
Well,
He's
we
gonna
have
build
numerous,
a whole business around this.
No, we have.
we have numerous companies that are very young guys that are doing high-end residential, and they're coming with us with $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 orders, and they tell us, "Oh my God, you don't understand how much you saved us." And I'm like, "No, I know because I've hung board before you."
So you're familiar
So it's
with it.
like
That's we talked about this.
We
man.
talked off mic before
right,
that
about the fact that Andre's not a guy that just saw a machine, went and bought it, and all of a sudden showed up and like, okay, I'm going to do this.
You found a new knife. You found a new product for this industry.
When we bought the machine, we were doing about $10 million worth of work a year. Me and my partner and his company and stuff like that. We were mixed commercial, residential, and then we're like, oh my God, this will save us so much. And like, we're not a big company. Sometimes we do less and sometimes we do more. But we were like, even if you did $1 million or less, you know, you get an application on a job site, you're like a knife edge. Traditionally, people were charging over $100 a foot with the extrusion and mudding it and all that stuff, and you have to frame
That
for
was
it.
the going rate for it?
Yeah, like back in the day, like minimum you would have been like $60 to $100 a linear foot.
Okay, so do you want to know pricing?
Yeah, I was just about to ask you because I know that when we first met, we started talking, sitting down.
So
after I got off the roller coaster and we got there,
Traditionally,
you
go
guys
to
mentioned
some drywall companies here in the GTA. Okay, this profile is between $20 and $25 a linear foot.
that whole profile.
Yeah,
Yes,
well,
right here.
drywall
Just
companies
like
are
this.
charging.
Just
Yeah,
like
that's what a drywall company is called. So the actual profile itself, the mud and the application and finish ready to
what
paint.
they're charging.
Yes.
Okay. What the actual cost of it is this is, and we're gonna
I don't know
admit
what
this.
it is.
It's
less than $10 or whatever it is.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, this is in the cents.
Like
Okay.
it's $1 a linear foot, whatever.
Okay.
whatever.
But it's not about material costs, it's about labor costs.
Labor.
Right. But then you have the deficiency part of this whole equation. Do you have a deficiency? It cracks. Send the taper back. Oh, it cracks again. Send the taper back. Okay? So when you're traditionally, we talked about this, Manny. Traditionally, yeah, it's going to be send a taper back to, okay, at the end of the day, there's a cost involved in this. Okay? Now, this, right, opposed to this at $5.
Is that what your price is?
Yeah.
$5 a linear foot.
Yeah. But see, a lot of time like this, if you're installing this is right to the floor. Guys have to get on the floor and install it. Tapers are getting low. We're trying to go up to like 6, 8, 10 inches, and guys don't have to bend over that much. Easier install.
So do you have that? Is there a poplar piece over there, Manny?
There's a piece of wood there.
No, the piece of wood. This thing.
No. That's just
No, that's a column.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I see it.
Okay.
Oh, you guys brought poplar. Why'd you guys bring poplar? It's the first time I've had poplar in the
Okay.
showroom.
So this is a poplar piece, right? So now
Some guys use it. A lot of guys use it
now
as
you're
base.
using this as a base,
Yes.
and then this is sitting on
yes,
top. Right?
there's your shadow.
Okay. So now, traditionally, you go put the floor in, you put the poplar piece in, you leave this gap, right? And now you go bye-bye. Okay. So now, if I have to do this, now I'm going to get mud on here.
On poplar's a sponge.
So now I have to clean the poplar, I have to hide the poplar, I have to cover the poplar. Now I'm not hiding. This is now 6 inches higher than what you're dealing with in a traditional manner.
Yeah.
Like as I said, off mic, as you so eloquently put it, Manny,
That's how we say it.
I have these daily discussions with multiple contractors, drywall companies, and you walk in and everybody's like, wow, and it's the mindset of trying to finally get the older guys to understand it, but it's the young and up and coming guys that can't live without this stuff. They absolutely eat it up. They love it because it's actually, you're taking something new and bringing it into the environment that they're not used to because they're young. The old guys are like, oh no, I'll just do it traditionally because it's, this is the way I've always been taught and treated and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? There's new hammers out there.
Things change.
There's new screwdrivers out there. There's new drills out there. Everything comes up new. But everybody, so you go to see a guy and he's driving a truck and he pulls out a trailer and you look in his truck and it's like every tool known to man. Okay?
Organized, accessible.
Right.
Set up,
This
ready
isn't
to go.
tools. This is just a product that you can actually save time, money, and deficiencies. That's what it is. Okay?
So the GCs are not totally getting it. The younger
Because
tapers are getting it.
Well,
Designers are getting it.
Yeah, a lot. You know what? When they come to our office and they see our infrastructure and they see how it's done, and we bring all the sample. Sometimes when you show a sample, they're like, "Oh, okay." And they're like, some guys will get it right away, and some be like, "Okay, they don't get it." And
The
then
wheels are spinning right away.
But then when you start explaining it more and more and more, then they're like, "Oh, okay." Now they get it more, and I guess the drywallers are they a lot of them get it right away. But if you have a young GC or even an older GC, some guys like Steve said, don't worry about it. We just do it old traditional way, and we're not looking to change. That's fine. We move on. We get another client. Big deal, right? But
As I said to you, Manny,
it's a waiting game at that point.
Manny, there's multiple drywall companies out there. Multiple. Yeah. We're not like every day. I was talking to a big builder this morning. I said, who does your drywall? Some guy out of Burlington. Never heard of him before, right? You have a client that was in here up north.
Yeah.
Right? I posted something on Instagram. The GM of the company reached out to me, right? Steve, I need to learn more about your products. She's coming to see us on Monday, and she is traditionally a Trimtex environment. She sent me a picture.
Of what she's looking to achieve?
Nope, she sent me a picture. What did you know? She needed a detail, right? She needed a hot detail, and she sent me a picture. It was with a Trimtex, right? Same as this almost, but it had another, it came up and had a bead on
one
the
more
other
little
side.
profile to get
Right.
funkiness. Yeah.
This is exactly what she was looking at. This.
And you guys can
And
do
I
that
sent her
as tight as that.
And I sent her a picture of this, and she goes, "Oh my God, this is what I get." How long have you guys been in business?
Is it cost effective to do that because I know when you guys show me that profile there, that you can do that as a wall treatment, right?
Yeah,
like
well,
I'm
here,
like looking
Manny,
at my
hand-
wall back
yeah,
here.
Manny,
like,
hand me
you
that
can't.
light. Hand me that light.
This one here?
I don't think it'll fit in that one.
We're not sure.
It's
No, it won't fit in
It's
that one.
another extrusion.
Right. So,
But a small light like that
But
would
you can
fit.
design it
Yeah.
to fit into that.
Well, that was designed for another light that we do.
So there's this is an Italian light. This is from Italy. This is an Italian extruded light, the same as this. But now I'm taking this and I'll go to the example of what we're going to show you because this is called a click system. Okay, this is made by Lumen
no, that's a light line.
Lightline. Okay, so this is a Lightline product.
So that's for commercial applications?
No, residential.
Residential.
Residential, commercial.
Right.
So what's that made out of? That's made out of what? Iron?
This is
No, it's aluminum
Lifting
extrusion.
it up like he's
Well, I didn't want to take it out of this.
oh, okay, to rip it out. Okay.
Okay, so there's your hot detail.
With you guys added taper joints, taper sides on it.
So typically
So
you would
that's
have to frame this upper ceiling to
Yeah, you do.
accommodate
We've all done
that.
We've all done that.
So we do our system to the measurements for the light. We put a piece of plywood on the back so you can screw into it, and
Give it added strength.
so you add it up, you put it up in the ceiling, and then the light goes up.
You
And
can't
it's-
get any cleaner, any more.
Can't get any
precise.
better than that.
Right.
So this could go on for 8 feet, or it can go for hundreds of feet.
See,
and it'll be all consistently the
my
same.
wheels are already spinning, right? So I know that this is all great stuff when it comes to drywall ceiling treatments, or you can do some accent walls like this stuff behind us or whatever. You can do hat details. You can do all kinds of stuff. Like it's limitless. It's basically limitless. But you know that you guys also been seeing a rash of a lot of European influencing going on coming into Canada with concrete troweled material finishes, right? So now you're getting like that architectural concrete look or kind of roughness on certain wall applications. You can apply this to this stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can totally do it to this stuff
Right.
now. You can have a light extrusion and then have like almost
Okay,
an
so there's a company that we spoke about. I'll mention the company because I think they're amazing stuff, which is
you're talking about
Deco
yeah.
Concrete. So they have their systems are panel systems. Okay,
4x4, 2x4, whatever it is.
So now you can use their panel system with our extrusions.
Yeah.
And create multiple. There's multiple. Like
That's where I was saying the wheels are spinning.
Right.
And I'm an old guy.
As they came up, as you know, Andre and Tony came up with that slogan, limitless potential. It's limitless in what we can do. And we have a sister company that if you want something, for example, the knife edge, right?
Yeah.
We can't create a knife edge that goes like this.
Radius.
Okay? We can't radius a knife edge.
Not yet.
No, we can.
You can't?
With GFRG, yes.
Oh, you can. That's what I was
We
saying.
have
right?
that.
We have the technology to do that. And as I
Think of $6 million man. We have the technology.
We have the technology to move forward. Here we go. So, but at the same time, like most guys, most drywall companies, and I'll tell you this right now, most builders, most drywall companies, they always traditionally used a company called Formglass. Well, Formglass took all their operations and they moved it to Mexico.
Okay.
Okay. Well, now you're in Mexico. You're paying you less. But when you order something and it goes to Mexico and you wait for it to come back, just in shipping, something breaks.
Then what?
Back to Mexico again. But we have a sister company here in Canada, here in Toronto, that does exactly the same thing. Because they took the people that didn't want to go to Mexico, that were out of jobs, have the knowledge about how to use GFRG and GFRC products.
What does GFRG stand?
GFRC is glass reinforced gypsum fiber, or fiber gypsum, right? And then GFRC is concrete. So you get gypsum based and you get concrete based. So you're actually you can do
But even before you get into there, you could still curve drywall. I know that we're showing all kinds
no,
of
we can
90s.
curve it one
we
way.
haven't,
You
didn't
can
bring,
bowl nose. You guys can
Right,
what's the
we
type
haven't
radius?
done-
You haven't even gone into that
no,
world
we
yet.
don't even have an example here.
No, we didn't want it, but we want people to understand that you can do that if you
Yes,
want
we
to do
can.
it.
Yeah, we can. If you want to
Yeah.
make a column, we can do a column,
Yeah.
right?
Could you? Of course you could. You can bowl nose this vertically, but still have the shadow reveal.
We can bullnose it, but you couldn't continue the reveal into the bullnose. That's where we would go to the sister company and have them make that corner.
Okay.
And then continue with
If we're
our
doing a
part.
house in Barrie and they have a curved wall with a reveal, a shadow reveal, so they'll make that our same product here, right? So they'll make it out of GFRG, right? We'll use their curve and then just butt ours into it, right? Yeah. It's as I said to you, Manny, you give us a design or something,
You guys will
we've
figure
already
it out.
seen it, developed it, or
No, or we'll know of different guys,
ways of doing it.
different options.
So, what was I gonna? I was gonna ask you guys.
Did we get into all the questions?
No, there's plenty here. No,
We'll have to do another
It just
podcast.
happens. It comes up, and
Yeah,
that's
we'll
how
have
it
to do
goes
another
on.
podcast. 'Cause
No, there's a lot of stuff. I want people to watch this show so they can understand this. But it's basically like you start thinking about new ideas that you can pull off, and then you just give it to you guys.
Well-
We never finished the cost thing.
Yeah.
So I know that when we first started chatting, I want you guys to kind of give us a rough idea, apples to apples. So you know from history of working in the industry, let's just say a 3,000 square foot house. How many roughly board feet are we talking about there? Traditionally speaking, let's go
3,000? 40 to 50.
40,
No,
50?
no.
No. Board
18?
feet. Board feet.
No, wait. Board feet of like drywall, you're talking about times 5, maybe between 12 and 15.
Yeah, okay,
right?
there you go. Yeah.
But yeah, it depends on like. See, we were asked before, like, what's the cost savings in a general house? Well, every house has a different design, right? Different bulk.
I know, that's what I'm trying to...
There's not a happy
market.
medium there. Like
Yeah.
sometimes, what guys are typically how we do cost comparison is what do you typically price per linear foot? What is our product per linear foot, and what is your? We're easily 50% cheaper.
See, that's where I was going.
Easily on simple stuff, but as it gets complicated, it's a higher percentage. But again, you still have to. We're not discrediting anybody, but there's still have to buy the product, install the product, tape the product as well. There's many moving parts to everything.
But I also want people to understand that your price includes the material.
Yeah.
The traditional way, that price is not including the material
yeah,
at
they
first.
have to make it all.
Okay, but hold on, Manny. Just think about this. Say I'm doing this. I like talking about this because it's our newest and greatest.
Well, that's where the Toronto step bevel's going,
Okay,
right?
so now you go around, you put your baseboard in, right? Okay, you put your baseboard in. Now it's all done. but you've left that 6-inch gap.
Yeah.
Now I got to go to a boardman,
Yeah.
cut 6 inches, install it. Now I got to get another guy to come in and put the bead in.
Yeah.
Then I got to get another guy to come in and put the tape in. Done. Finished. Bye. Now he's just taping this.
One guy.
Trim
One guy.
carpenter can do this,
One guy.
right? Taper can put this in.
So is it fair to say that if you take a traditional home,
Yes.
it's just a box, right?
Yep.
And you take another home and you guys are putting your product versus that product, you're going to be about 50% less cost-wise?
On a job, yeah, it depends on the detail, right? Like if one has
Both houses are doing drywall
identically the
returns.
same, yeah.
You're doing drywall returns on both houses. You're doing a shadow return on the base. Both houses are doing exactly the same. So it's like it's a box.
We already talked about this,
I know.
Manny.
So
8 minutes, 105 minutes.
yeah, but also
5 minutes to do that
video's
window.
on your website.
But 5 minutes to do that window. Now I got to cut a piece to do the face, a piece to do the return. I got to put the corner bead on. I got to mud it, right? I got to sand it. I got to mud it. I got to sand it. I got to mud it.
So instead of like 27 boxes of mud, you're bringing in 13 boxes of mud.
Like
There you go.
when we did an analysis, there's many ways to analyze the product and the way it's done. We have a big contractor in the U.S. They've did a 87-story high-rise building in California, all at a prefab. There was not one corner being in the entire building, and there's another building right beside it that was identically the same, given to another drywall company, and they were accelerating twice faster. The guys
Than
that
the
prefabbed the
traditional
building,
way.
they finished it faster than them by 40-something floors. You know, so these guys had about 6 or 8 guys prefabbing, and then everybody else would, all the other trades would go in and like their drawers will go in and they'll do all the complicated work, and then they do the flat work.
So we have a company, just one of our contractors does low-rise industrial condos.
Okay.
Okay. Andre, Steve, go out to this site. There's 2 drywall companies doing almost identical buildings. They're like, what were they, 1,000 square foot condo
Yeah,
that DMD did?
yeah,
Yeah, okay. No windows. Frames are in, but no glass.
That's when they had a shortage of material like glass during COVID.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay? All the frames
It was
are in.
base building like commercial units.
Okay.
Yeah,
Our guys, all the windows are done. Done, finished, right? Because all the corner, you don't have to corner bead.
No.
Other guys, they have to corner bead. Now you have to wait.
they couldn't mud it
For
because
heat.
it was
The
there was no heat,
Yeah.
so it wouldn't dry. So
Now you're the builder. You come in and go, wow, these guys are done. And then these guys are still waiting to get the glass in, right?
But the bills on both jobs, comparison wise, the numbers are the same.
yeah.
You're submitting as a builder, you're submitting whatever the dollar value is on this job. It's going to be the same dollar value on using your product job, but you're doing it faster and you're making more profit.
Yeah,
I don't
and-
think the contractor really cares about the because it's prefab or not. They don't care about that. And I get back to this point. It's about if I can get that guy that rented or bought that condo into that condo more, I'm now getting my money because now I'm
Faster.
not I'm not borrowing the money to lend. It's done. Yeah. I'm now gone.
Yeah, but like a lot of these places, like the drywall contractor has now another option. Before it was just, no, you have to use that. Or you do a tradition like this. So he's learning how to frame less. Like, for example, the hat, you don't have to frame the above here. You just slide it into your drywall ceiling and then screw it in. And it's rigid enough, and we never had a deficiency in 8 years that we've been doing it.
Could I use you guys on a job?
Yes.
And if you were to scan the entire job and have all the measurements exactly to what you needed to have, right? Mm-hmm. You guys could probably lay out all the profiles, linear foot I need, all the field, and give me tapered butt joints, literally like a puzzle.
Yeah.
And it would just be 12-inch box everywhere and screw holes, period.
Yeah, well, see what contractors are doing now. Like, they'll send us a drawing saying we need 12 by 12 box or 12 by 4, 12, whatever. And then they're like, we need 200 linear feet of this, 500 linear feet of this, 1,000 linear feet of this. They'll wait for the prefab to get on site before they build anything because now they're using less material to put it all together, and they're not framing traditionally. So many job sites now are pretty much all metal. Like when you look at custom homes, nobody's doing these crazy details in wood because you wouldn't be able to drywall them properly. So
But then you don't have a bin at the end of the job filling up with all the offcuts of drywall as well.
A lot of
there's another added cost. Now I got to hire a guy to take all the garbage and put it in a bin.
but we're doing job sites right now
I know,
that are.
But at the end of the day, it's you said break down a house. Well, Manny,
That's part of the cost.
That's break down a house, right? So
did you not have a crew when you were doing yours? You had one guy to come and gobble up all the offcuts and then take it or dump it. If you had a nice enough GC like myself, throw it in the bin that's ready on site, and that's where it's going to be.
So if I'm doing a house and I have to drywall return all the windows, the guys drywall the house, the guys come in and do the windows. Well, we like doing it the opposite way. Do all the windows and then put the board up.
Well, just put it this way. In a typical house back then when I used to drywall, we used to have a waffle ceiling, a tray ceiling, whatever they call it. And we used to, you have 10, 12, 15 boxes. I would have to use at least 2 to 3 boxes of corner bead, between 50 and 75 corner beads. Then you have to install it, put 3 coats of plaster on it, and you have waste, sanding, and stuff like that. Now you don't have 50 to 75 corner beads. You're not taping that. So what's it worth? How do you analyze it? Like anybody could analyze it to whatever way. Now you can put a track on the ceiling and that's all you're screwing. And then when you connect the 2 pieces of prefab together, you just put a piece in the middle and you join it. And then you just tape the seams and that's it. So you have, I don't know, like 10 boxes of mud versus 1 box or 2 box.
Like you've been in the industry for a while now, Manny, and you came to our shop and you were
I was number one pressed, first of all, before I even saw the machine, was the lack of dust, because the work was being performed, so things were being cut. So you don't appreciate lack of dust until you get older and start realizing how irritant it gets to you as an individual. Like if I get on a job site now and there's airborne sawdust or concrete dust or drywall dust, it bothers me now.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't bother me when I was younger.
Right.
But so now I'm fully aware of it. So that's the first thing I noticed. Then second, you guys set it up and did a cut for me in seconds. And then I see this and I'm like, it's like that unfolded box there, right?
Yes.
So all of a sudden you're just, you back designed the idea that you wanted to create, and then you assembled the unit.
And
that's
so
it. No brainer.
So we have created something, and I know I'm gonna talk about it because we're in the process of discussing things with Sonopan.
Yeah, that's fine. You can bring it up.
So we have a situation whereby we created a drywall box out of we created a box out of Sonopan because
You're talking about an insulated box for recessed lighting.
So normally, and when you're using Sonopan, which is an isolation material for isolating sound, you put the Sonopan up, you put resilient channel, you put drywall.
Yeah.
The question that we had to those guys was, okay, I have to put a pot light in. Now I have to take a router the hole for the pot light. As soon as you do that, in my opinion, and in our professional opinion, your sound retention has gone into that hole. So now are you actually getting the benefit?
You've penetrated the sound envelope.
So we came up with an idea of, okay, let's make a Sonopan box. Okay, so the problem with Sonopan, and I don't know, it's very brittle.
Loose fibers.
Loose fibers.
Yeah.
So when we grooved the Sonopan, we had to come up with a way. So we grooved it, glued it, made a box.
And it adhered. It stayed?
Stayed. The situation with the marketing company or the company that does the stuff for Sonopan, they want it in a flat application so that when you go to a Home
retail.
Depot, retail, it's about the square footage and what they can get. We can't, because then you have to put paper on the back of the Sonopan. So you have to apply it. Who's going to do that? Right? All this other stuff. So talking to them today, I said, we talked about this. Why don't we just make a drywall box? The offcuts from the Sonopan, you either put it on the outside or you put it on the inside of our drywall box. We'll give you the drywall box, but we can now give it to you shipped flat.
Yeah, we don't have to glue it, and you can ship it flat and they can assemble on site. And
done. Now, just do whatever you want with a Sonopan. Right?
Makes sense.
Here's the other thing. Now, as Andre pointed out, if you're doing a fire retardant ceiling, you cannot have any penetration through that drywall.
No, well, wherever you go, you have to continue it.
Yeah.
the material.
Our drywall box eliminates that penetration if you're
does.
cutting right.
Yeah.
Because we went to a condo guy and this is in Kitchener, and they have ceiling fans in every bathroom. We created a box for that fan because you have to so now
At a rated X? At a fire?
Yeah, fire rate type X, and
Yeah.
then we actually put the fan inside, and then they screwed the fan into the.
so they give us
framing.
the fans. We manufacture the box. We give them back the fan. Here you go. Put the box in. Now you're not having to use fire retardant materials like the
foam or the ceiling.
Well, it's time consuming to assemble a traditional
It
way.
is. It's a pain in the ass, is what it is.
Yeah,
I can't stand it.
Any penetration, like we had the electrical wire going through that, we had a grommet that we had a drill for, and we sealed it with one of their like fire rated caulking that you buy.
As
from
we said with Lightline, hand us the trims, 500 trims. Here you go. We hand them back a flat board with the trims already in it. There you go. We actually had Lightline from the U.S. come up, and they had a problem where one of the trims got punched through. Well, it's not from it was somebody actually pushed it through the
logistical shipping.
which is just living. So they looked at it that and went, yeah, okay, we can get that. But at the same time, you're not dealing with that swirl every light. And I'm telling you, Manny, I swear I can take you to any house and thinking you're getting You're not getting perfect. I can see where the
No,
ridges.
you'll see.
That's
it,
why
especially
if you
it's
have a
sunny
good
day
taper,
and you
if
got
you
a
have
lot
a
of
good
glass.
taper, that's the problem.
But now everything's level 5 in these houses. So
It's supposed to be level 5,
it's
but
supposed to
people have a weird feeling of what level 5
as
is.
soon as sunlight or lights hits it, and that's why
I can't come today. It's cloudy. I'll come when it's nice and sunny. That's when I'm going to take a look at your house. Then I'll
Right.
tell you if it's a good job or not.
But I get it. These guys come up with these light bars, and they take the light bar and they put it against the wall. And
Yeah, but okay, so you're looking.
when are you getting that?
Yeah, you're.
Like, how? At what point? Like, then you get. Then that's getting a little too anal retentive in terms of stuff. But with our stuff, as you said, our 90 is a 90.
Yeah.
like we do a lot of residential homes for contractors. We have some contractors that are not heavily skilled in framing and like even the window return. Some windows, it's a 1 inch. What do you put there? You know what I mean? So to put a corner bead and a D200 trim, you're overlapping each other, and then if the window condensates, the bead will eventually rust.
They're not highly skilled, but it's funny how they're highly MacGyverish sometimes when they're given a treatment on a drawing, and they need to be building that treatment on the ceiling, and they'll just pull out whatever steel studs are on location and the tin snips and just MacGyver something together.
We had a situation, and I'll mention it's Phil Tishner Homes.
Okay.
I was at his. He said, "Steve, I have a dilemma. I think
I need a solution."
Right. So they have a window. They have windows. They did a renovation in this house. So they need a return. But they all have drywall in the face. They have a baseboard here. Okay. And they don't have enough room because the frame, they don't have enough room to turn the baseboard.
Okay.
And put drywall on. You can't put drywall on and then put a baseboard on because now you're going to be proud of the frame.
Yeah.
Okay. So we came up with the solution of in that baseboard, okay, there is a groove right here.
Okay.
So it goes up, goes in 1/4 of an inch, comes out a little bit, and goes back up again. Bottom's 1/2 inch, top is 1/8 of an inch.
Okay.
Okay. But there's a line right here. Okay. So our solution was put your baseboard in, right, on that one side. Then take the balance of the bottom with that little groove and put it into the window.
Okay.
Then take our reveal with a 1/4 inch reveal. Now you sit it on top of the baseboard, the flat stock, right?
Yeah.
And now that line continues all the way around till you get to the other side. It's a window in the back of a kitchen. Now this line is continued, but you don't get that little piece in the top, but you still have that line.
I know exactly what you're talking
right.
about. Yeah.
Feels like brilliant, Steve. Brilliant. Because he couldn't this is the thing.
He couldn't wrap his head around the traditional way of doing it.
But I'm there sometimes to problem solve and help
Different ideas,
different ideas and different views of things because I see so many things in the environments that I'm in that I have. Oh, I saw that in another house. I saw that it's in another house, right?
Like we had a lady that came to our office and she liked the baseboard idea, but
on this 1/2 inch.
they wanted 1/8. And she's like, but there isn't a product that we can do that's 1/8 now. I'm like, well, you'd have to double up the bead, D200 on both sides and stuff like that. But she's like, and then we did the whole house. The house was, 10,000 square feet?
Yeah.
And she has a nice reveal around her whole house that typically nobody would do it because it's time consuming and a lot of money. And
Well, the
she's
charge,
like,
the cost associated with that. That's
Yeah.
what
But this is what I ask. So, Manny, you know, like we would want to have a discussion. We want to have a roundtable with drywall companies.
yeah, of course.
How much would you charge for that? And can you do it?
Traditionally, no, you can't. You can do it, but it's going to be really expensive
yeah.
because it's going to be very difficult.
Well, it's custom, right? So
Yeah.
then it's like you're getting that custom price as well. But it's also now, you know, the look is now the painter, if he was to paint that, his paint just sticks right to it because there's no build out of mud, plaster, you know. So it's
But even if you did that, if you just took that reveal and went right up the wall,
Yeah, no, that's what
eighth,
No.
a lot of guys are coming to us now. They have walls that go up, like their stairwell wall,
Yeah.
and they want to embed lights. And we
Yeah.
embed them
Yeah.
like these nice lights, and you know, guys are installing the hats within like minutes, and you know,
So once they get
you
it,
asked us
they
this
get
question. You asked us this question. How much does it cost?
It actually costs less
Way
in
less.
time and labor
And material.
and material.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is that the drywall industry needs to get their head out of their ass and understand that there's
well,
opportunity here.
the whole saying was before, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. You know what I mean?
But it's not just the drywall.
We had a lot
It's
of
the
old-
architects, it's
yeah,
designers.
Yeah.
We had
Right?
a lot of old journeymen like in our industry. They're like, I don't want to fucking touch this. And then all of a sudden they're like, when can we get this? You know what I mean? So we've changed some guys' minds, but not all, where, you know, but eventually those guys will retire. And are you teaching the younger generation?
What's the turnaround, guys? How fast? I got something going on, and I give you guys an order. We measured everything. Here's the linear count that I need. Here's the profiles that we're needing. What's the
Sometimes
turnaround?
we can do it within a couple like days, a day, a couple days, sometimes a week. But depend what the quantity is. Like sometimes we have customers we can push off because they don't need it right away. We'll schedule those orders. If something's a rush, it's a rush. We have 3 machines. We're going to be opening up second shift, and if stuff needs to get done, needs to get done. Like me, when we first started, me and my partner, we used to come in at like, we go home, shower, and they'll come back and then put in another 4 to 6 hours because guys need it done yesterday. And I'm like, oh, you know.
What's the delivery? What do you guys like? Because obviously you got to deliver this stuff to sites, right?
So we do some deliveries. A lot of guys also come pick up, and
We have a couple of suppliers that actually come and pick up the products from. We distribute to suppliers.
Okay.
CDS being one, PBS being another.
Okay.
Right, and they'll come with their truck. They'll pick up the product. We'll skid it. They'll ship it out. Right, and it's multiple
How
applications.
far have you guys gotten away from the GTA area?
we've shipped as far as Arizona. But
yeah.
yeah,
Really?
yeah. So
And
it's,
then he goes, Steve, you got to go take this knife edge. It was a knife edge order, and it was like 2.5 hours. We had a company come from. We have a company in London, a supplier. They came to our shop, picked it up, and took it to Sarnia.
yeah. We have some guys like private guys that do like logistical deliveries.
Yeah.
The client will schedule them in, and they'll come pick up. And you know, sometimes it costs $1,000 for deliveries, but
You
know what I mean?
saving
Like,
more than that.
we'll
Yes.
we'll
Tens
save
of
them in the
thousands.
product end. We'll
Yeah.
be like, okay, we have some stuff that's going out to the U.S. like knife edges and stuff. And you know, sometimes we tell the guy, listen, if you're ordering 50 linear feet, it's not worth your time. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna pay more in logistics than what it's worth.
Yeah, like,
right?
No, but if
So-
you're doing a house package.
But one of the things that we're now doing is that now we're now producing linear feet after linear feet of this. So now we're not having to produce it. Now it's going to be in stock, ready to go. And if you need an order, fine, it bang, it goes out. It's the same thing as we had a discussion with Lightline. Stop giving us 100 trims, give us 500 trims, because then we have a production. We're doing all this, and it's now done, finished, and out the door. Right now, you guys can take it. When you get to a certain point, call us back. Send us more trims. We'll do it again.
Didn't you have? I thought you had a box sample there already with a face piece of drywall on it, crosshairs on it. So that's basically what you guys are selling. So the box is already completed. It fits inside of a 14.5-inch stud cavity or ceiling cavity.
There you go.
Yeah, so
And
they
there
can
it
put
is.
it up and then drill whatever hole size they need to drill.
That's it, done.
And
but
then
now
you
your
don't have
box
to
is
frame
done.
This.
But back and again, if
How
you're
did
doing-
we do it back then? It was a
No,
pain in the ass.
Right, but if you're using a sonopan product, you can then sonopan the outside of this box. You can stick it in. You can screw this in. Now you're not dealing with trying to create an environment where that sonopan is now perforated. Now you're trying to stop that penetration. Now it's already here. You stick it up, and oh, guess what, Mr. Homeowner? Oh, I don't like the light here. Oh, okay, we'll move it over here. Now you're just moving a box, right? Now you're not moving the whole light, everything. So how do I cut it? Where do you do with it? Now the box is already there. Now you know where the light is. It's actually seen.
Yeah, a lot of guys will send us. We did a order for Zona fire-rated boxes, double layer. We did 2,000 pieces, and they're like, "Oh, the contractor's like, we have to get them like within a week." And I'm like, "Okay, not a problem."
Yeah, you.
And we stayed like, I don't know, 20, 40 hours
2,000
a day.
boxes, man.
And then we made it work, and the guy's been ordering from us since, right? And then it's like, you know, they like it. They saw us on through one of our other friends that we've done work for, and then they're like, okay, we have to get this. And then it was a no-brainer for some of the people.
Yeah,
but some guys are going to be like, I'll do it traditionally.
We were joking about, I was just on Instagram and watching this thing, and they have in Washington State, they have an Olympics, drywall Olympics.
Oh, you were mentioning this. I remember that.
I'm like 100. So I messaged the guy in charge of in training or whatever for this, and I said, how many checks do you give out? And they give out 8 checks of $1,000 each, right? Andre and I said, oh, can we come and bring our stuff and we'll just collect all 8 checks, right? Because we'll be done sitting timing the rest
Well,
of the
it's based on time, right?
Absolutely.
So it's like,
yeah, okay, we're done. Now what? Where's the? Where can we go for a beer? We'll be back, right? It's Manny. We can every day. I see different environments and different applications, and every day I see how the benefits of our product are. And you said to us, well, how far do you go? Well, we have a drywall company coming from Aurelia that is extremely interested because of the fact that they see just in that one little detail, just in that detail on how it's going to save
it's
them.
a selling detail.
And they
for
actually
any
did a
business.
post. They actually did it's funny, they did a post today of a shadow reveal around a door. And it was something about the fact of, oh, this is a new technology, new thing. I'm like, the shadow reveal has been around, but now it's getting into window returns and window reveals and like how do you connect? We have a company that we deal with, the Door Boutique, right? Yeah. And now our product and their product marry each other because they have a reveal around the door. Now our product can marry to their reveal. It's seeing how you can incorporate them.
Is it just a matter of like you starting a training, like just get the mudders and sheetrockers to come in and just give it a try, try it out?
Now we've cleaned up our office because we've been restructuring a lot of things, and now we can actually have people come over. It's literally you'd have to come in and see us. Sometimes just talk like we're talking now, and then the light bulb goes off.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I want that. Or can you guys do this? And then they'll give us drawings. We're like, yeah, that's not a problem, And like I did a Instagram post a while back, and I just did this. I'm not an Instagrammer, so I just took a couple pictures. And
if you've done one, you are an Instagrammer.
Well, I did like a 30-second video or like a thing, and then I literally got an email like, I don't know, 10 minutes after saying, hey, I got some drawings. Can I send to you? Can you do this? And I was like, yeah, no problem. It's standard for us. Right. And then the guy's like, well, they're doing it themselves. And I'm like, how easy is it to install? I'm like, well, if you guys need help and assistance, we can assist you in that. And then we showed them a little bit here and there, and they're like, okay, we don't need you. We'll install it. We know how to install.
I just want these guys to try it out. I just want them to understand how easy this is to do it, and your finished product is going to be so much better.
We've done a lot of freebies. We've done a lot of discounted profiles where we just want the end user to be happy. We want
homeowners.
Well, we did it with, for example,
contractors, homeowners.
I was trying
everybody.
to get in with a drywall company, and that was 3 years ago. Finally, through the builder, the drywall then reached out to me because the builder I met and talked, and so we went and actually did the house they wanted a window, a couple windows done in a room, right? So Andre, like, let's do the whole house, right? We'll just do the whole house. Subsequently, ever since then, they've done like 6 or 8 orders, right? And now
They saw it.
they saw it, but it's not the supervisor saw it. It's so most of the time they have one guy or 2 guys that actually do all their fancy stuff or the non-traditional stuff. He sees it, like he's like, I tried to get these guys to use it like a year ago or 2 years ago, right? Because he already sees the advantages of it. And I don't know how that dynamics works with the drywall company, if he's a sub-trade that does their stuff and all that other
It's
stuff.
kind of weird because you got so many Europeans coming into this industry in Canada, and I can only assume it's the same with the U.S. They must know about this stuff coming from Europe. Like, this is already...
Not really.
Not really.
Not
eh?
really.
They're
Like,
just blinders on?
Okay, so if you got a drywall company or a window company that's doing aluminum extruded windows, this marries so wonderful with their what they're actually offering to their clients.
Yeah.
I went to some of the companies. Hey guys, we'll partner. Let's partner. No, we're not. It's true. We don't care. This drywall thing. Really? So you don't like? It's just an added feature for your windows. So if you're the guy that does it and you're doing it for not just the windows, and now the contractor's seeing it, and you're making money because you're buying it from us and then sell. I don't care. We sell it to you for 5. You sell it to them for 7. It's just added revenue. That's all it is.
But it's another system on top of your system.
Yeah.
You know, like, how do you do a window return that's 3/4 of an inch? You know what I mean? It's like
But some of the things
so
like,
difficult.
Yeah, Manny. Some of the windows are like tight.
Yeah.
How do
Or
you do that?
some of the window openings are not framed exactly; they're bigger, and then you don't have to backframe some of these windows now. You can just screw the face of our product, and it's rigid.
Like that 90 that we keep showing you, it's solid. You don't need to backframe into that. Yeah, it's solid. Like, and guys go, well, is it going to stand up?
Well, we've been 8 years, and it's all stood up. So
See, that's where it's like it's just so confusing to me how you'll get guys that are taking so much pride in this industry, this particular trade, this detail of the building process.
Yes.
But yet then they'll question this innovation here that it's actually better than the traditional way of doing things.
Yes.
And I don't understand that. It's like almost you're telling me that you want to try new ideas, but you're not going to embrace this new idea.
yeah.
Now you understand, Manny, the frustration every day, banging my head, going, what don't they get? I swear he was like a kid in a candy store.
When he saw it, when you saw it
when he came to my house, he had a box like this with all of this in it, except this. We hadn't come up with this yet, right? So like, Andre and I, it was our, like, I said, why can't we, there's a way to do it. And he is, no. And then all of a sudden we came up with, let's do it this way. And it's been flying. Like, I think this is one of the best things that we sell, right? In terms of what's out there in the marketplace.
We didn't even launch it because we wanted to test it with our local contractors, local guys that we know good. And we've sold 50,000-60,000 linear feet of it. And, everybody likes it.
They come back and they love it. They see the potential of it.
But again, it's innovation. We started back in 2015. A lot of companies, I talked to some new companies that come to market. They don't survive, because time and money, especially now, what everything costs is everything. You don't get the chance. We have a small market in Canada. Some things, it could be a great product, but by the time you get it out, some people don't have the cash flow.
Where's the profit, Andre? Like, where's the profit when it comes to a drywall trade? Is it in the taping?
No, you know what? The profit's in a company that's well put together. If you have guys that are good framers, good drywallers, good tapers, and they can go in and out and do their job properly, versus some guys get it right away and some guys stare at the ceiling all day and they're like, oh, I only put up 10 sheets. You have to have a lean, good crew. Even these big drywall companies, some of the companies that can have 600 men, but maybe 100, 200 men are really, really good, and then the rest are bodies. Just like any other industry, it's been always like that. So a lot of companies have to train their guys. Like innovation. If you don't bring innovation, I can give this product to a kid that just started out with 1-2 weeks of drywall, and he can install a bulkhead straight because the product is straight. You teach him the basics, and he can now do your bulkheads. You can't do that traditionally.
He's not.
He couldn't put a corner bead
No, I
traditionally.
agree. He's not. He's not been blinded by. That's how it's always been done.
Yeah.
Mentality.
Yeah.
He's not been blinded by that.
So now, little bit by little bit, like 8 years later, we have more traction, more companies using it, more young guys. Now, when they switch to another company, it's like, hey, we use prefabricated drywall in our other company. You guys should get some. And then they're like, we never heard of it. And then now it's word of mouth. It's been company to company. Some companies are still doing a tradition, which is not wrong. Do it, right? But again, if you have to bid against a job, sometimes the details will kill you because just time-consuming, labor.
Are the homeowners asking for it? Are they educated enough that they're finding it?
No.
So it's
we haven't really brought it to the homeowners.
Okay,
yet.
no.
Homeowners really don't like.
Because you still have to hire a contractor.
still have
That's
to
why we
hire a
said DIY. We can have products for DIY, but again, like you would have to be a skilled DIYer for some of the details.
I don't think it's applicable for DIYers. I think they can look at it and think that, oh, this is super easy. Now I can hang drywall.
Yeah.
Now I can do this. And I'm like,
that's
no,
when you have
you
a million
couldn't do anything
joints and no
before,
taper
so
comes
don't
to your
touch it.
job.
Hire a pro. Simple as that, right?
Well, there's a lot of like in the city, we have so many contractors. Whether they do drywall, they understand drywall, they're not. A lot of guys are like they can do a lot of drywall and stuff like that, and we made the process a little bit easier for them.
Okay, so now you're dealing. Okay, so now you're into.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was like, I'm trying to figure out what other pieces of drywall you guys brought that I didn't show yet.
All right, so that's traditionally
6x6 here.
right, but so
That's just acting as a column
okay,
or
so
whatever.
you're doing a commercial application. You have columns in floors, right? Yeah. So you need to fire rate the column.
Yeah, so you could throw
fire rate or drywall.
Yeah.
Yep. So if you take the screws out, right? You take the screws out. But we can do it two different ways. Is there one with that you did with that's plastic?
There's one without the
it's got plastic around it.
Right here.
Okay, so you take the plastic off.
Hang on,
Manny?
I'm just
I know
in drywall heaven.
You're
So now you got the plastic here. You got the Saran wrap.
It comes like that.
Comes like this.
Yeah,
No,
with
no,
the
no.
with
we,
the plastic.
We plastic it.
Right
when we
now,
ship
guess what?
Look at
now
this.
take
Look
it
at
apart.
this. Look at this. Look at this, man. Well, everybody's listening. Look at this. Look at this. Whoever's listening. So basically, you guys have created a 6x6 box, mitered everything.
Does
It's
it
not
can
to
be
be
any
6 by
size,
6.
yeah.
It can be any size you want.
It could be any size you want.
Up to. Remember, you're dealing with a 48-inch drywall.
But
Yeah, or
no
54.
corner bead,
50
no
or-
nothing. But you know what you also have done here? You know what they're going to say? You know what Mutter's Taper's going to say?
What?
Well, that's the best part of taping. I just get my knife. It goes wrong from corner bead to corner bead, and I just run it.
Really? Okay, so now.
And that's how they sound.
All right. Yeah, I know. Okay, now your column is 12 by 12. Okay, you go.
Oh, yeah, that's a difference.
Okay, you go now.
Well, then you get a derby.
Okay, you go
no,
now.
give me a 24, and I'll do a derby on it now. And I'll put 2 cases of mud just on this one post.
Okay, you do that. Okay. You
No,
go.
I prefer this, man. This is a lot better. Like, this is amazing that you could just make it size whatever you want.
Yeah, we
put
have
it
a taper
together.
joint in the middle.
You got a taper joint
in the
here,
middle.
so you mud that. You put 2 screws on this side. You put 2 screws, whatever, 1 screw on this side. It's done.
There it is there, Manny, right there.
It's done.
There it is, Manny.
I know.
Well, there's no 2 screws on the other side. There's
no
2
4 corner beads and
Okay, so for example, we did the casino. They had 30-foot columns. 30-foot columns. 10, 10, 10.
10.
Done. Bye. The GC's like,
And then
I
you
love you guys.
You also taper these joints too.
We can.
yeah, we can. Yeah, a lot of guys don't because they just feather them. A lot of these columns are getting cladded with tile or another product. They just need the column to be wrapped in drywall.
Yeah.
So even a lot of the columns at the casino we did, they're just up 30 feet up. Nobody even sees after 10 feet what they look like. But now you're taking something that's straight and you're installing it in minutes.
Put a mirror on it for a little sunbathing kind of thing. Is that what you guys should be doing?
Well, you're Italian. You should. You get a
The
little,
sun comes out, I don't get red. I get olive. Like that's
Yeah,
just how
exactly.
It is. We're
That's
European.
why
We're
do
not
you think
afraid
of the oil,
sun.
the olive oil?
We're not afraid of the sun.
Yeah.
man.
What is Manny doing? Oh, he's out the
Sun
back with
is
olive
good,
oil, sun
okay?
tanning.
Okay, so what else? What else is there? Hang on a sec. Was there anything else?
Andrea's got stuff on her. Andrew's got stuff on
Angelina.
the stick. Angelina's got stuff on her
trouble now.
on the shtick. If you want to bring it
No,
up.
but we.
It's on
like
the
we
shtick.
said, like our tagline is limitless potential. So if a client has a detail, we'll dissect it. It doesn't have to be all made out of one piece. We sometimes make details out of 3 different pieces.
Are you getting more and more challenges now? Because now that when someone understands it, they get it.
No, we just get more and more drawings, and then
That's all it
we
is.
get more busier, and then we're open Monday to Friday, but I'm usually there with a couple guys Saturday
Yeah,
and
but emails
Sunday.
are 24/7.
Yeah, but
know?
that's how business is, right? Like we try to get back to everybody. Sometimes we do, and
Go through
sometimes
your
we
list
don't.
there.
Look at that, huh? You guys are just getting too funky there. And again, I'm telling
light-
everybody,
it's a
go
light-
watch the
well,
show.
that's a
Don't
light
listen to
coat.
the
It's
show.
a light coat.
Yeah, it's a light coat. But okay, explain to me how that would get done traditionally.
So do I
Wouldn't.
take this with me?
No, you stay there in the seat because it's a roller coaster and you have to keep the bar down.
Do you have a light?
A laser? No, you just describe it. So we
So
have
now
this image is in the show now.
Okay, so now the part that's laying on the table, that's the wall.
Yes.
The piece coming down is, so now you're getting that light cove.
Yep.
And then you're returning it into a bulkhead.
Yeah.
Right? Into
Yeah.
a light cove inside of a window.
Yeah.
Or even if you're doing a blind box, you can still put this.
There's
front
many
of it.
applications.
It's as we said.
Is
it's-
that just as easy to build that as it is just to build anything that?
Yeah, it just takes a little bit more time
yeah, just
consuming,
a couple
but
more cuts and you're good to go.
it's like anything. It's
Where does
just-
all the dust go? It's hooked up to a vacuum, right?
There's
Yeah,
a special
vacuum, yeah.
vacuum, and then we have a dust system.
It collects it all completely, right?
Yep. And here's the benefit: you can actually use the drywall dust. I don't know if you know this.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yes,
Where are you
drywall
going with
dust
this?
is
What
for
do you-
farmers. They put it in the gardens, and it's
We've actually approached.
I didn't know this.
yes, yeah.
We've actually contacted before CERN-TEED or CGC. Hey, we got this fine dust now. Would you guys want it? And they're like,
recycle it.
yeah, recycle
But
it, whatever,
farmers
because they're
actually-
making.
Yeah, farmers actually go to some drywall companies and pick up. Like we have bags of it, and guys
You know,
come
I
and
can
pick it up.
only
Like every
it's-
day we have like probably 10 bags, like 50 kilos a bag.
So that's a traditional channel, like for the extrusion,
Yeah, that's
right?
a hat channel.
Yeah, that's a hat channel.
Inside,
Same-
outside,
this
and
is-
it's like
there you go.
what people need to understand is you got to see this show, but you got to understand that gone are the days of a non-90 degree inside outside. This is a true 90 degree inside outside.
Yes.
That's a huge
unless
thing,
we have
man.
a little bit too much alcohol,
There's-
then
yeah.
No,
it's gonna get
you
glued
got
off.
a little bit of honey, a little bit of
burn
honey
with-
there. But look at that. You can do these channels in the ceilings. You can
So
do all
that
kinds of
that
stuff.
detail is there's the C cap. There that channel this is this right here.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
Yep.
That's your coffered ceiling if you want to do.
Yeah.
It's
Or
our
a
C
waffle
cap.
sailing
Yeah.
or whatever, right?
Just
90.
traditional corner, 90,
90.
90.
Yep. That's
Nice.
a,
What do you-
that's a
that's
30.
knife edge.
Yeah.
That's a 30, right?
45.
45.
That's a 45? Looks like
Yep,
30.
That's a 90.
There's your corner. So what is the fear? What is the fear that these guys want to see metal or plastic in the corner with mud on it? You're taking work and skill
Well,
away from
it's
them?
the same fear that you had in Europe. Why did they not use drywall in, like, say, Croatia? Well, now they are because it's easier. You know what I mean?
Like we have Croatian guys that own companies here going back
Going back there.
and taking drywall with them. Yeah. And
No, but typically, you don't change unless people are ready to change, or some people are afraid. Like, they don't tell me how I did this for 50
I know,
years.
I know.
You know what I mean? So I have no problem. So don't bother me.
I know, but this is like being a
Angelina, can you-
teenager
is there
back in the
more?
80s and having a Lamborghini Countach on the wall there.
But they
like you
eventually
dream for,
come
you
back.
aspire. They're probably going home, all these drywall old school guys, they're going home and they're looking at your website going, man, can you imagine what I could build with that? Like how much better it could be.
Well,
They're
you know
doing
what?
it.
Like the trade is only getting tougher with
you keep going, Angela, or
with
there's more, or there's- yeah.
young guys trying to get into the trade.
The young guys are the ones that are going to kill this.
No parents telling, hey, you should become a drywaller. You know what I mean?
That's
It's like
just another that's
You could do any size you want. It's just you guys input it into the system.
so we had a situation. One of the buildings that we were doing, they had exactly that detail between two windows,
Okay.
The wall, that's the wall.
It was like a bay window or something like that?
No,
or
it was actually a hotel.
Okay.
And they had that situation. So how do you traditionally frame that?
Yeah, they had a degree, like they had a certain degree they had to
You
meet.
got to get a carpenter, yeah.
Yeah. So now they just took our product, we put 2 channels on each end of those windows, and they just capped it. And I don't know, the labor saving is massive because now you're not dealing with there's no coat systems or like a bead that's flexible both ways, and then you still got to tape it. You know what I mean?
So then the other thing is, this is what I talked about yesterday so say I take that and I go the opposite way.
Okay.
So now I have white out.
Yeah.
So now, is there a way of taping that corner and not having it rounded?
Yeah, you got to use a certain kind of bead, and you got to hope that you line it up perfectly in the center of whatever the sheetrock guy
So this
hung it.
this is a prime example of what I was dealing with yesterday, is that they have this sort of detail, but it carries above the window. So they had the old drywall above the window, and now they're going to be using our product. I said, cut that. They're going to cut that right off and put our product right up to the ceiling, because now you're getting a true corner.
But most sheetrock guys will just buy boxes and boxes and boxes of corner bead, right?
Yeah.
And just stock it, and then the next job comes along and they have it already. Yeah. What they should start doing now is ordering boxes and boxes of right angles from you guys for whatever, 16 by 16, because you're going to the first stud or whatever it is, right?
Or if you need to cut it, score it, cut it, you're done.
We have some guys that would order like 1,000 linear feet, and we deliver it to their shop, and they'll load up like. We're not avoiding every corner bead in the world, but like you said, some guys are last minute things, and a couple contractors, they order like say 1,000 pieces, and they have shop space, and then they load up 10 pieces as they go in the morning, and then they cut them down to whatever size they need. So we've made 16 by 16, 12 by 12, 8 by 8.
There's videos in there too.
But you could actually do an entire house without any corner beads.
Yep, some of them do. Some of them don't.
No, we won't be able to hear it.
But it doesn't matter. You can just see it.
But I'll share it. I'll totally share it. Are they? Yeah. What kind of videos are they?
Well, it's actually a video. Show the video of him putting up, like doing a.
I can insert that later on.
Yeah,
I don't need to insert it now.
All right.
I can totally insert that. It was just more about the profiles. But
Yeah.
So right now, you guys are just getting more and more designers and GCs and architects coming at you with more drawings, more
we're
ideas.
getting more spec'd in with certain products.
Yeah.
And they're asking us, can we spec you in? And we're like, yeah, sure, no problem, right? Like it's more the merrier. But also we want to know the people we're doing business with. Like all our clients are very good clients. They're, we help them out with certain jobs. We have some clients who are like, I priced the job wrong, but I need to complete this job, and I can see us using your product and saving us some time, right, and money eventually. Then I'll sympathize with them, and then be like, okay, listen, we'll do this job for you at this price, right? And then a lot of guys, they come back because we give them service. We know what we're talking about. We know how it feels to sometimes
you
screw up on a job.
Yeah, I know.
But here's the thing, Manny. You talked about timelines. We've had situations where we've gone in the morning. They're starting to do some. Oh, we broke 2 pieces. Hey, I need 2 pieces. No problem. Within an hour or so, it's on the job site.
We'll get it there.
We'll get it there, because that's the way we are.
Yeah, but eventually I see this, like eventually it's going to become just, you can start charging more for it. Instead of competing directly what's going the traditional way, you can start charging more for it because the creativity is going to come out of the drywall. You're going to come up with new ideas that you're going to present it. I look at this and what you guys are capable of doing. I can design a certain ceiling treatment that we haven't seen yet on paper, give it to you guys, and you guys fabricate that design, and then I sell that design to a client, and I can charge a certain
You do whatever you
price.
want. Do whatever you want. We don't care.
And they'll buy it because now they've got a visual element on the ceiling, right? I've always told everybody in construction, we spend so much time and effort on the floor, but we don't realize that there's just as much square feet above.
Yeah.
So why aren't you taking ceiling treatments into your business?
I had this very discussion with you.
Did we?
Yes, we did.
You call me all the time.
I showed you pictures. I sent you pictures of different. Well, you don't like it? What are we? I thought we were dating. Okay,
I never swiped right.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, exactly.
I swiped left.
Yeah, you were swiping on. Yeah. Oh,
Steve.
Really? That's your girlfriend? Really? So at the end of the day, I was on Instagram. I can send you the pictures of just a hallway. It's just a 8-foot hallway.
I know.
And what you can do just in that little hallway, and I'm thinking, why are everybody, you put in a trimless light. Start creating, you said you got walls, you got floor, you got a ceiling. Start making the ceiling interesting.
You know what?
Like, there's a company that Andre and I were looking at. They're out of New York City. They're all, I don't know if they're Puerto Rican or Mexican. It doesn't matter. But the innovative things that they're doing with drywall, I have never, in all the time that I've been doing this, ever seen it anywhere in Toronto. It is absolutely staggering what they're doing. And it's drywall. Yeah. It's not plaster.
It's drywall.
It's drywall. And their designs are out of this world.
But you know what the problem is, too? We had a couple clients come in, and they're building a, I don't know, 10, 20, $30 million house, and we get 3 pages of drawings. And I'm like, where's the rest? They're like, well, we don't have. I'm like, well, where's the design? Well, we're coming here for ideas. And I'm like, wait, but you're building a $10 million house. You didn't. Where's the package that you paid your architect?
Usually,
you know what I mean? Like, so people are like trying to save every whatever. And then I'm like, well, we're not a design firm. We can
prefabricate.
We can do it, but we'll have to charge you. But it's like, you know, we've done some design work with certain like good clients, and they're like, why don't you just do a light cove and do this and a knife edge? And he's like, okay, cool. Give me 1,000 feet. And then we're like, okay, that's easy. But when you have an undecided client, I'm not like Olympia Tile here, and you're going to go shopping for 5 days. You know what I mean? Like, you have to come in with your designs. We can help you. We can say we'll recommend an installation method. But, you know, like some of these clients, they're not spending the money. And then we get some clients who are like, who did your drawings? And we're like so impressed, you know, and they have all the details
like
blown up.
You go into houses and there's a book just for the
just
design.
the details.
And
that's supposed to be on every single job.
Okay,
but I know it's not.
But we have a client who comes to see us. They already got a drywaller who actually be one of our clients, and then they're coming to see us for us to show them our product. And I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, we'll do you, because of the like we have a relationship with the drywall company, but at the same time, like, we got other stuff to do.
Like, the worst part is not knowing that they're dealing with a drywall company that we're dealing with, and then they're like asking us, can we buy direct from you? Yeah, we can buy direct from you, but now if I know that you're using my client, I don't want to sell to you directly, because then I'm cutting out my.
That's just called respect in the construction.
You know what I mean? And
well, it's also cutting off your nose.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, I like to like be sometimes exclusive, but with some of in the industry, it's like, you know, some people like they want the exclusivity as a supplier, but I'm like, yeah, but you're not. We're promoting our own product. We're going door to door. You know what I mean? Like I hired Steve, and we had like other guys. I'm doing it. We're doing it. So there's a lot of effort put into that. Like, and you know, like now we have a good bunch of clients where we can recommend to other builders and stuff like that, because we know they won't be a headache. You know what I mean? So we like to work with a bunch of guys or a bunch of contractors or ladies or whatever everybody is, and we want to make sure everything gets done to what has to get done.
You know, you guys should also be doing, and I'm sure that you guys probably have been asked or have done some stuff. One of the first things I did in construction when I got started was I always took advantage of the space inside the wall cavity. So if I ever saw a wall and there was no mechanical running through there, or even if there was mechanical running through there, I figured out a way to reroute that mechanical, and then I would put a niche in there somehow, whether that be like a shelf or whatever it is. You're just maximizing it. Mm-hmm. Like, there's an opportunity here that if you frame a certain room a certain way, if it's a front entryway or whatever, you could actually go and envelope all around the studs and maximize that space. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, is that there's potential there. If you start thinking that way, at the framing stage, you start already thinking that I want to use this voids, all these voids.
That's what I mentioned earlier, Manny. There's a company in California. They take the design and they manufacture and then they go back, they sit at a table, how we're going to do this, how we're going to do that. Then they go to the architect and say, okay, this is what we're thinking of doing, right? And you got to understand, you have a designer, you
get
have an
everybody
architect,
involved.
you get everybody part of that equation. That's what makes a great contractor
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Everybody can build. We talked about this. It's 4 walls, it's a roof. It's how you encompass everybody. And as I said, with like this example with Phil has doing this house up in Innisfil. It's a $750,000 electrical job. He got an email from the employee of the electrical company. I'm finished this and this and this and this. And Phil wrote back, "Why are you emailing me this? You don't answer to me and I don't answer to you." So he phoned the electrician whose job it is and said, "Why am I getting this email, number one? 2, if I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to take 10% off your pay and I'll micromanage your guy. But you're going to lose."
Who's Phil?
Phil Tishner is a builder, Tishner Homes.
Okay.
But he's doing this massive house and he's like, "Steve, I'm not here to
I hire you. You
bingo.
take care of
You're
this.
the electrical company.
Yeah.
You look after
You
your own
were awarded
guys.
the job
You
for a
get in your
reason.
truck. You drive to Innisfil. You go and do whatever needs to do. You make sure that I get an email from you because you're the guy I'm paying that gets everything
you,
that's
you
done."
need to start getting, and also I think you, as much as they're not there, but they should be, the framers have to be on the same page. So the framers have to be working with the drywallers to understand the potential behind this, because you can't.
But
just,
why does a framer have to be involved?
because of the way they traditionally frame certain things. But
No,
if you start,
if
no,
they
if you
have-
start taking,
Manny,
in,
if they have drawings and that stud
that's
has
what
to
I'm
go
saying.
there, it
That's-
starts with the
there's
architect.
Notes. So there would be a note there from the architect
Bingo.
via the designer, from you guys
Back
or
to
whatever.
this-
This one particular area here, we are going to groove industry this one particular area of the house.
Back to the the original stating of what I said at the beginning of the show, Manny.
I don't remember.
QR code. It's
Yeah,
right in the
that's
QR
where it
code.
is. I know.
This profile is in that wall. It's right there. We've got to a point where there's a company that we deal with out of California. They have Microsoft goggles. Shows everything in that goggle, where everything is, because it's right there in virtual reality.
Microsoft's a bad word in this room. Can you actually do this with like no space and just make it like almost like a threaded line?
Yes.
Yeah, but we've done it where they want to sit right on top of the poplar with no seam. We just do our bend to finish the drywall.
No,
Why
but
did- why-
I want you guys to do this for me on a wall,
Yes.
8-10 feet or whatever, and I'm getting all these vertical lines. So I'm not doing traditional shiplap
Yeah.
Yes.
that everybody's doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? But then it's just butted together. So I'm getting just the
that's-
lines.
Yeah, that's easy.
Just a subtle line in the wall.
It's easy.
Yeah, not a problem.
I know that would be. I know you guys can do it. I'm asking you that you guys can.
But all
do
you're
it,
doing is taking that thing and doing a D200 on either side.
Yeah,
That's all you're doing.
yeah.
You put a spacer in the middle,
Yeah.
right? And this is the other thing.
and that would look nice.
Manny, watch this, okay?
What are you
I'm
gonna build?
doing a
What are you gonna build?
concrete floor.
Okay.
Floor, okay? I'm done. Floor's done.
Radiant.
What?
Radiant.
Who cares? Radiant
Canada.
floor. I'll
It's
make
winter
you.
right now.
I'll make you happy.
I wanna make it
a
warm.
radiant floor.
You putting 2 inches of
now
SM
I'm
underneath?
taking a square
Okay.
piece of poplar.
Yeah.
And I'm putting it on that floor. Traditionally, that floor is
Scribe.
bingo. What are you scribing? The top or the bottom?
You have to scribe the bottom.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, wow. Now I'm putting this on top.
Yes, because
Okay.
that's true.
Right. So what happens is that if you want this to be true and this to be true, you can then scribe the back of the poplar. Okay. And if you don't want to scribe,
Oh, I know you're talking about.
so then this sits in that, you put a
Yes.
spacer in here. Now
Yes.
this line is true.
Yes.
So you have the
Now
flexibility.
I
of
don't
up and
have
down.
to scribe this. I just caulk the bottom of this and I'm done. See, there's everything
Yeah.
that we talk about, Manny. We've already had it, seen it, done it.
And figured out the best way to
Right.
do it.
And this is where we get along so well, is because we talk to each other. Hey, I have this guy looking at this thing. We came up with this. Like, we just like, how are we going to do this? And then we try one way, try another way. And it's like, Steve, it isn't going to work. And then it's like, bingo,
It works.
it worked.
Well, even the pop or the MDF, when they scribe the back of it, somebody like, oh, it's an extra step. Sorry, you're building a $10 million home. It's custom.
You're running
So
it through. You're
There's
running
usually
it through
a second floor, so there's a few extra
Yeah.
steps.
So now, you
This
know,
is a table saw.
yeah, I know, but the builder now understands, like, okay, now I can be 100% true. Like one guy wanted what did Jay want? 8 mil reveal, 10 mil reveal. I'm like, the only way you're gonna really do it is I'm gonna give you a little bit bigger, and then you can stick in behind, and then you can adjust.
We can make this bigger, but now you can adjust because now you're
sliding in behind,
and you put the spacer here. Now you can do whatever you want. Make it this much. You just said, how can I do this? It's easy. You start with one, you put a level. You don't even need a level. You just put a spacer. Why do tile guys put spacers in? It's the same as this. It's exactly the same. This becomes like a tile.
If you've got anybody GC wise, you got any electricians or plumbers that want to get into the drywall industry, you want to just reach out to you guys and get some samples and just try to figure it out.
Absolutely.
Try it out.
We're always
come up to the job.
The door's always open, and we're always willing to have people come in and talk to us. You saw, like, we have, like, Aurelia Drywall's coming to see us. Sarah's coming to see us, and she is like, I'm a visual person. I need to see, touch, feel.
Of course, everybody.
I see people, send you a picture, send you this. I can send all the pictures you want. Unless you actually see it and feel and touch what we do, it actually becomes vibrant.
Well, we like to also see our clients and see who the user is, and sometimes we give our 2 cents and they appreciate it, and then they start talking about other projects, other drawings, and what they have in the pipeline, and we're like, okay, let us know when it's coming.
Because people are being creative.
Yeah. But it's also now it's like they took the time to come and see you. We have a good location near the airport, and it's very easy to get to. So now, if you're not taking the time to come and see us and you just want something emailed, not a problem, but you'll understand everything that we do.
So
once you're there.
we're at 6490 Viscount.
Right by the airport there.
Well, you didn't. We just.
Well, I didn't know you wanted to give up the address too, because I figured the address would be on the website.
We got stalkers?
No, not stalkers. I'm just saying
But if
not everybody wants to.
People are watching the show.
I'm taking a huge notice of how you didn't really break the paper on the screws here. Who screwed the screws here?
Yeah.
Like they're actually perfect, like exactly where it's like the OBC is supposed to say, like it's supposed to be, right? Yeah. There's no piercing of the paper, otherwise you'd have to start all over again, scratch.
Oh,
right?
by the way, the company in California, they have prefab drywall now inputted into the building code.
In California?
Yeah.
Yep.
In certain applications.
There's a lot of craziness going on in California, eh?
But they have a lot
what they do there, and
well, their population of California is
the same as
population of
Is
Canada.
our country, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so, like, if you were to start this company back then in like 2015, if we started in the States, you'd be a bigger company. Depends. Like, we have clients in New York, Cali, Arizona.
Everybody wants this,
But now some of those people, a lot of these shows, like for example, the World of Concrete, Vegas, or they pick certain things, and everybody goes there, right? And sometimes you need 2-3 days to go through the show because there's so much.
He went to the show and it's like, Steve,
You went to World of Concrete?
No, we went to another show.
Which show? IBS?
Yeah. It was a trade show. I can't remember what the exact name, but it was like.
Well, there's KBIS and IBS, right?
Yeah.
He says, Steve, I got lost.
Yeah, you get lost. You're like
if it's
walking
in Florida,
from
you need a
casino
segue.
to
It's just
casino,
absolutely huge.
What aisle were we in last? It's like
It's insane.
Yeah,
I've been there.
But Manny, we go back to the same. We talked about this. Is drywall. It's not anything new. It's just a weed.
But if we can make drywall look very interesting on walls and
What do you mean?
ceilings,
Can we?
No. That's
We-
what I'm
we
saying.
do
I
make
want
drywall
the
look-
old school cats to understand that there's opportunity here to build a serious business. And I know the kids are embracing this, man. The young trades are like, this is gold mine. Yeah. I'm going to be friends with you guys.
Well, we have
I'm
a
going
lot
to
of
talk
young
to you guys.
We have a lot of young clients, and I'm like, how old are you? Like,
Hold on.
I'm 29.
So just so I'm familiar with, because I kind of watched some of his shows, unfortunately. You had a young Indian kid in here.
Yeah.
And he didn't look at any negatives. It wasn't,
Positive.
you're this, you're brown, you're
And he
Indian,
was treated
whatever.
like shit too when he got here.
Exactly. And you know what? I commend a kid like that.
Yeah.
You know what? It's the guys like that you wonder why this country, he's an immigrant to this country. He respect his mother. You asked his mother's name. Those are the kids that you really look at in terms of they embrace things that everybody else doesn't want. Okay, fine. You don't want to do it. I'll do it. And then they become successful.
and then people get jealous why they're successful.
Right. Exactly.
Because they saw opportunity.
And then what happens is, oh, negative this, negative that. Shut up. If you didn't do it or you didn't think about it and you don't want to go out and work for it, then you know what? Don't criticize somebody because of their success.
Is it different to do any of these things, whether it's traditional drywall, X, blue, green,
No.
Den shield,
Den shield too.
nothing?
Nope.
It's all the same.
All the same.
Like we've done even dense glass gold, but with some of that, you have one chance to fold it, then it'll break. But we've done some details where we don't recommend doing it in this, and we will show them another product like water resistant board.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
But that's why, I talked about the baseboard with the green board. It's solid board. It's like you hit solid
heavier.
board. Oh,
we get it.
denser.
Yeah,
Denser.
we have a
Denser,
more
exactly.
impact resistant board and stuff like that.
they had impact board. It's gone now.
I know, but all the cool kids on social media just love pulling that little on the drywall return on the trim text, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the tearaway?
Yeah, the tearaway. So
Yeah, well.
so they get their millions of views.
You know what? That's the thing. Like, some of the content is good.
Yeah, I used
and then
to
it's
use
very
flat brakes
repetitive
on my bicycle too, and now it's all disc brakes on bicycles.
Hey,
right?
The clothes peg and the friggin' playing card. Click, 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 click. Yep.
So
It's all evolve, man.
that's why we welcome anybody to come to our shop, set up an appointment, and
reach out to you guys.
yeah,
100%. Yeah.
bring a drawing, bring a detail, bring
anything you want.
Bring
a beer.
Bring Bill. Exactly.
After 5.
Exactly. After 5. Don't get Andre drinking it too.
I went through the whole list. You guys would be surprised, but I totally we went through everything here. I don't think there's nothing at all.
There's really nothing else that,
It's just drywall.
It's self-explanatory.
It's not just drywall. This is like a feeling. You're creating emotion when you start putting certain things together and you start realizing that these things are true now. You're going to make the trim guys happy.
Manny, I made this point earlier. When Andre first came to me, he was like a kid in a candy store. And I look at this stuff. I'm not a drywaller, right? But I look at our products as being innovative, as leading edge, 100%. Cutting edge, unbelievable. That I look at something. If I'm anal retentive for certain things, and if I see the value in it, then and you're not a builder, and you want to be a better builder, or you want to set yourself apart, then look at products that actually set yourself apart. Don't be like, here's a board, here's this, here's that.
Better tools in the toolbox. That's all you need.
Yeah.
So
that's what nowadays everybody's got to look outside the box and to become
exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. And there's an example. Open the box and see what's out there.
No, but
don't stay in it.
Like we talk about carpenters just recently. Remember, we had a job up in Mississauga. We won't mention who it was, but they had the union carpenters come in, and they're like, "Okay, we're going to frame these light coves." I go, "With what? 12-foot 2x4s?" I go, "Name me one. Where's a straight one?"
Yeah,
you're going to do this detail. Who's going to drywall it? Well, we could put PL and glue because it was like 6 inches away from the outside wall. I'm like, "Good luck." But like,
never gonna work.
You know what I mean? Then you got to corner beat it, and then I go, there's steps involved. They just wanted to frame it and get out. You know what I mean? Charge.
They didn't want to think about trying to figure that away.
And traditionally, we talked about blind boxes. Traditionally, guys, I walked into a house in Forest Hill. They're making the blind boxes out of MDF. They're scoring the edge of the partition that comes down. They're scoring this to put tape on, to put the drywall on so they can mud it. Mm-hmm. Really? We can create a drywall box out of drywall and extend it down with a flap. Now you're not worrying about that corner. Now you're not worrying about any of that. Now you're drywalling to that butt.
That's what we've always said it. You're marrying drywall to drywall, not a form like MDF. If you put too much water on it, it'll swell up. And you'll get a deficiency.
And then you start getting
you know what I mean?
HDF and doing exterior, which you're paying a lot more, and it's a different world. And I don't even think you're allowed to use HDF inside houses because of the chemical base on it. Yeah. The exterior MDF stuff. That's the water resistant. Yeah. Can you use it on the inside?
Yeah, as long as it's coated and covered.
Okay. All right.
So you have to. There's a special primer you have to use, and then. But guess what? It's the same thing as MDF blind boxes. Like, why? So they as I said, they only see what they see, and this is the statement that I love. They only know what they know. So,
what were you gonna say?
No, but that's the thing where you got the framers now they're like, oh no, we priced the job, but I'm like, yeah, I get it, but now the owner of the house is saying, no, I want to use this, and we want to frame out of metal because metal's straight to us in a commercial application. And I said, there's an easier way. You can use, I just don't want to use a 2x4 because you don't know when it'll shrink, when it'll
It's going to
thing.
twist.
And you have crazy details in the ceiling. I go, we should do it like this. And then the actual owner is like, you know what? We want to do it like that. I don't care what your price is to him. You guys figure that out.
It's simple math. It doesn't matter all the drywall crews or the builder. Yeah. You've already priced it out. This product is already within that price point where you're still going to be profitable. Yeah. But I guarantee you that when the homeowner sees the final result of it and they look at it, they're going to tell 2 friends, and then they're going to tell 2 friends, and they're going to tell 2 friends, and then you're going to get more work as a result of it. Yeah. That's the cause and effect.
Well, I told the framer, I go, listen, we don't have to like who's right, who's wrong. You can eliminate some of your 2x4s. You can still frame some of the structures that nobody really will see, but leave the fine line. Leave it to us. And then he's like, okay, finally, I guess he got it. You know what I mean? And then we were able to work together, right? And the owner's like, I just want it done. I want it done nice. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this is like, 16-foot ceilings. Like the details were going crazy. You're talking about, I think the house was like $20 million. And I'm like that's where we said, let's work together.
What's the longest they make LSLs? 2x4s?
I don't know.
They're not 16 foot.
10 foot.
10 foot is the longest LSLs?
I think so.
Or do you have to start?
An LSL?
Yeah.
No, you can go up to 16, 14.
Yeah,
12,
can you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then it's going to be expensive. You can Google it there, Steve.
No. I think I did. No, I did an LSL.
Yeah, but depending on the size, right?
Yeah.
I did LSD.
Okay. It's not
Groove Industries. Yeah. www.grooveind.com. And then you can reach them on these 3 emails, which is either orders@grooveind.com, steve@grooveind.com, and then AndreJ @grooveind.com. And then on Instagram, it's under GrooveInd. And then their phone number is 416-629-3757. And then the address is
64.
You're in the Toronto area, 64.
No, we're actually in Mississauga.
Oh, sorry, Mississauga.
Pearson Airport.
Pearson Airport. Anybody know Richelieu? We're right behind Richelieu.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. So 6490 Viscount.
Lots of people listening to the show know where Richelieu is, man. They go there every single day.
Yeah, we're right behind.
I get recognized there so many times, man. I just try to do this. That's all it is. I want to do the 12 questions before we guys leave. Before we wrap it up. You guys ready for this?
Yes. Go.
What's your favorite construction word?
Fabrication.
I don't know. Taper fix.
Least favorite tool. Go ahead, say it.
I don't know.
Least favorite tool. Screwdriver.
Wrong hammer.
Huh?
The wrong hammer.
Okay. What construction sound do you guys love?
My machine when it V-grooves.
Yeah.
It's quiet as a mouse. It's not that loud.
You can hear the router.
It doesn't sound like a DeWalt multi-tool.
I like a hammer. I like the old traditional hammer hitting a nail.
That ding, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good sound.
That's a fantastic sound.
What's your favorite beverage? And by the way, thank you so much, Andre, for...
Yeah. It's a good friend of mine out of Calgary.
I think I should start drinking all the bottles that arrive in this studio here so then I could just
can I just ask you a question?
What's that?
Are you in the laundry business? Because I'm like... What the heck's going on?
Those are all the shirts that I'm wearing on the show. Over the holiday break, they got folded up.
Man, you don't have to go shopping now.
You only saw what I saw right now.
Oh, you don't get it. It's just as much on this side as it is on that side.
Holy cow, there's laundry baskets. By the way, Manny's going to be doing a donation to the local clothing bank.
I'll sign all these or something.
Sign them all, and anybody that wants to come and get a shirt, Manny's...
People give me... Look, you guys
I understand that, but you know what?
Swag.
You know, I'm going to put this out there, okay? Manny, it's your show. You do whatever you want.
But I got to wear it on camera.
Can I just make a point?
Of course.
If you're trades and you're doing this show, I'm trying to put a positive spin on this. If they're going to give you a shirt, bring a shirt for the local food bank or the local clothing bank.
Brilliant idea.
And you know what?
Bring 2.
You bring 2.
And I'll donate it on their behalf and the show's behalf. That's a brilliant idea.
Right? It's the same as when you go to a grocery store and they have boxes to
great
put
idea.
for the food
Bring
bank.
2.
Bring a couple. There's people out there that don't have clothes, that don't
like
have
that.
coats, that don't have sweatshirts.
They're listening now. I guarantee you it's going to start.
There you
now.
go. So
you're
that-
responsible for that. That's totally. I love it. Thank you.
Send it to our office. I'm more than happy. If you send shirts and mail it to us, I'm
that's
more
a
than happy
great
to do
idea.
something like that. That's what
Nobody's told me what their favorite beverage is.
Miller Lite. Yeah.
Come on, you're Croatian.
I like a mixed drink like rum and coke, or some of my
I like gin and
buddies.
ginger ale.
What kind of rum and what kind of gin?
Tankery.
Appleton or something that just tastes good.
What turns you on and off in construction, guys?
What turns me on is prefab drywall. What turns me off is the lack of knowledge and understanding of prefab drywall.
We're going to change that.
Thank you, Manny.
Andre?
I like when the builder or whoever we're talking to knows what they're doing and they're organized. You know, like sometimes you come to a construction site, it's like a bomb went off. Like, and we have to deliver to some of these sites.
Yeah, that's one of my pet peeves is you go to job sites and you're tripping over garbage.
Unorganized jobs.
And I'm telling this
Or
is,
you just can't get into the front entrance. There's like a million
and
things.
at the end of the day, I know this is going to sound really bad. I think that the industry needs a rude awakening in terms of the government and what there's job sites that I've gone to and I don't even know how they're operating. I really don't.
Well, even
Lucky.
like when you look at the sanitary,
but when they get unlucky,
What do you like?
what do I like?
Yeah, what turns you on? I think you said off because of the disorganized.
You know, I just like when anybody's like got their stuff together and
Yeah.
get right to the point. This is what I need.
It
And,
really is a good point.
you know, or they're willing to open their mind and like, hey, take suggestions. Like we're always
It's
learning.
a team effort
Well,
here, man.
if somebody
It's-
tells me, hey, Andre, have you thought about it this way? I'm like, yeah, cool,
So,
all right.
So back to his point. Framers talking to the drywaller, drivers talking to the electricians talking to the plumber, plumbers talking to everybody. Everybody's in communication. And that stands and foremost from the guy running the site. He sets the standard. And if he makes it the standard, then that's how it should work.
Yep.
Not just let everybody run rampant, right? You have actual people that are actually taking the time to communicate with each other. And I had a point today of talking to a builder. They have a drywall company. That drywall, if they see something that's not right, they will bring it up to the GC.
Good.
Amazing.
Good.
Yeah.
Favorite curse word?
Well, I use it a lot, and it's fuck.
Fuck. He uses it all the time.
It's a go-to F1, yeah, for sure. What's
F1.
yours? Same?
Yeah. Dickhead.
What's your favorite vehicle in the entire world? Any mode of transportation?
Mine?
Any favorite vehicle? Anything?
Ford GT.
GT4.
I would go with
Not a Mustang GT. Ford GT.
Oh, so you're going back to the 60s.
No.
A new one?
Yeah.
You're talking about GT40.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Different
That's a
vehicle.
Ford GT to me, man.
It's a GT40. We don't know what the 40 stands for.
Right. What does the 40 stand for?
The height.
Exactly.
Yes.
That it had to make regulations of
Yes.
40 inches.
Yes.
Right.
For Le Mans, yes.
Yes.
I knew that way before they made a movie about that shit.
Okay.
'Cause I
and
followed.
what was the car that came before the GT40?
The car that came before the GT40?
That was sort of emulated off of.
Oh, it was the Shelby.
Nope.
Which one?
It's Pantera.
Di Tomas Pantera.
Really, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I like learning new things.
We have a friend who was the
I thought you were about to say you have a GT40.
So I have a friend that was the Pro Stock NHRA Pro Stock champion, and he was taking Hemis and putting them into Ford Mustangs. And one of the conversations that we had was that he knew Carroll Shelby and talked to Carroll Shelby and had conversations about this, and that was one of the conversations was about the GT40 and the Di Tommaso Pantera Di Tommaso, and it's because we were in I was just in Florida and they had a car show and they had every car. It didn't matter what car it was there, and they had a Pantera area and they had a GT40 area and they had Lamborghini area and everything. They had Cobras show up, like real Cobras and all this other stuff. And I started talking to this Pantera guy and he was talking to a GT40 guy, and that's the whole conversation. It was amazing.
Did you ever guys like think that cars would get to the value? Like I can't even. When I was a kid, I used to watch the auctions, and they were reasonably priced.
Yeah.
nowadays, like when you start hearing historical highs with certain Ferraris being sold and the numbers associated with that, when you already know what the value of that car was when it was built and sent out into the real world at that time, I never in my life ever thought that these vehicles would ever get to that price point.
We had a guy that lived down the street from us, and our favorite car was a Plymouth Roadrunner
Oh, I like the Roadrunner.
with the wing,
Yeah.
right? He traded it
For
a Ferrari. And I went to look,
which Ferrari?
I don't even know, right? But I'm like, it's about the same time when I thought that he traded it in, and it was like the Roadrunner compared to the Ferrari, and the Ferrari was like surpassed it in terms of value, like way surpassed it.
What's yours on?
Well, I'm from Croatia, so I'm gonna support my buddy there.
Oh yeah,
Rimac Nevera,
Rimac, man.
or
You
if
ever
I
heard
had
one?
a,
You ever seen it? The thing is like,
no, it's full electric, but it's you know.
and you know the story behind it, right? Like they gave him owner, like
Well, no.
Bugatti and like.
No, he owns now with the company
That's
that.
the one that thing burned up, right?
Yeah, he flipped.
Well, he
it.
almost died.
Well, that's because he doesn't know how to drive a fucking car. But
Have you seen the bike? He's got a bicycle. The bicycle is like stupid.
Is
It
it
goes
really?
like it's stupidly fast, like stupidly.
Do we really need to go that fast?
no, but
Well, we're not going to talk about going fast because, right, Andre?
yeah, no. Today wasn't a good day, but it's okay.
Oh, it was an almost day. It was an almost
We'll
day.
keep
It
that one
came-
off the air there for
Yeah,
now.
well,
I
no,
don't
who
want to. I
cares?
don't want to incriminate. It wasn't.
No,
It was
that's
my
what
dad
I mean.
driving.
What do you guys miss from your childhood? Hanging drywall?
No, not childhood. Going outside, not having to worry about where you were or who you were with, and
Exactly,
and
that's what I was-
Or you're worried about
Yep.
just dangers,
Yes,
like everything was
exactly.
an adventure.
Yep. Leave your bike. Oh, you were like in the neighbor's lawn. Come back and the bike's still there, right?
It's just got dew on it, that's all.
Yeah.
Like my parents didn't have to worry about it. Like you say, I'll be back at 10. You were back at 10.
Or when the lights came on, or
If you
whatever.
weren't, you just got a whooping.
Yep.
What profession other than your own would you guys like to attempt one day?
Maybe test driving cars. Like
A career or a
A career?
Anything?
Anything in the world. What do you want to try one day?
why don't
What?
No, I literally like got to the point where I was going to go to the NHL and got hurt, and my dad was the same. My dad was going to go to the New York Rangers, had a letter.
Wow.
My grandfather had a stroke, had to stay and look after the farm and the bakery and stuff like that. So I think being a professional hockey player.
Do you still play or skate?
My dad?
No, you.
Oh yeah.
You still skate,
Yeah. And surprising enough, I have my girlfriend's daughter. Her boyfriend plays a junior B, and I bet him 10. Give me 10. I'll give you. He's a defenseman, 1-on-1. I said I'll beat you 4 times. He goes, you won't even beat me twice.
Was he surprised?
No, he hasn't done it yet.
Oh.
But we're gonna do it.
Oh.
Oh yeah, and then he saw a video because I went on a cruise and I skated on the cruise because you can skate on the boat, and he's like, he saw the video, and goes, Steve, you can skate. And I go, yeah, that was my forte. Okay, good luck on that.
What profession would you guys not like to do?
I wouldn't want to be a mortician.
I don't know.
Angelina likes that one.
There's a couple, but what I want to do, I don't know, like these iron workers that work like in crazy heights. I don't like heights.
Yeah.
So when I see stuff like that, I was like, man, you should get paid way more,
A lot more.
a lot more than what you're getting paid.
Yep.
If heaven exists, what would you guys like to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates?
What took you so long? Welcome home.
That one comes up a lot.
Yeah.
What's yours, Andre?
What's the most popular? Do you have-
Welcome home. Welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah, I was going to just say that. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the second.
Other
your
people have
life.
said, it's 2 floors down.
From a non-religious guy. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Manny. Yeah. Okay. And
Listen, I just ask the questions. That's all I do. Everybody, okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. That was a blast talking.
that was
So
amazing.
So I want
Awesome.
everybody to reach out to
Absolutely.
you guys and start talking. And actually, I'm just gonna just give it a try. You'll understand, and you'll start. If you're a creative individual, if you're a creative person in this industry, you'll totally appreciate this.
Yeah.
You'll see the possibilities behind this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you don't see it, then I'm going to send you to
Well,
a
it's the same
Amtress.
thing. You can look at a floor plan and not see what's. But if you actually walk into a house, you actually see a house.
I think
There's-
they need
there's
to start
act-
adding a ceiling plan in our floor plan drawings.
You know what? Like,
Ceiling
even if you're
treatments.
doing a basement, some guys, don't get drawings on a basement, right? Now you can,
Knock yourself out.
now
They
you
have
can do a
theaters, they
design
have-
for your client and say, hey, we can do this, we can
You
do
can
that.
redesign bulkheads
Yeah.
now with this.
You know what I mean?
1,000% you can redesign bulkheads.
And
with
and
this.
here's the thing: if you want to come to us with a house, and you want to sit down with us, and you want to pay us, it doesn't even matter if as long as you're using our products, we're more than happy to sit and discuss things with you. We don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, we'll make samples and be like, hey, put it on the wall, see how it works.
Try it out.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like you took our sample of the groove, just the reveal, and you were going like you were putting it on the wall to see how it was going to look on the wall. You just
Yeah.
talked about shiplap and how's it going,
Simple.
right? It's not.
There's possibilities.
You already got drywall on the wall. Okay. Instead of putting
Like I had a client that we went last week. I went to go see him. Nice guy, and he's like, "Man, I heard about you guys, but I never get the chance to talk to you guys." And then he's like, "I got this fixture, a light fixture, just like that, from another company." And he goes, "I got to install in the ceiling." I go, "Okay, perfect." He already had his ceiling done. I go, "Just cut where you have to put it in, and that's it. Don't frame anything." And he goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I'll send you the 7 pieces, and then you'll see." And then,
You just install
he had the other prefab there. He goes, holy shit, I get it. He goes, well, you're not going to get it until you get the light fixture. Because I had him actually bring me the extrusion. We need the extrusion to fit tight.
Perfectly.
Some guys are like, what if I just give you the measurements? Well, sometimes it doesn't work, right? I don't want to be off, and then you're like,
Yeah.
I just taped it into the ceiling. It doesn't fit.
and this is the thing, Manny. If you actually take the time, we know about the product. If you take the time to listen to what I have to say, I'll help you. I'm more than if you say, "Hey, Steve, I need that." I was talking.
It.
Well, I was talking about Phil Tishner. Phil, Steve, can you come? I have this problem. I've only helped him with one house, right? One house. But now he's got this huge house. He's got a modern house coming up. There's a benefit to what I do. There's a benefit. I will help you with this. And down the road, you see the potential of what I'm going to help you with, right? That's the thing. It's communication and understanding.
It's back to collaborative, man.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Gentlemen, okay. So again, www.grooveind.com, orders at grooveind.com, Steve and AndreJ at grooveind.com, and then on Instagram, grooveind, 416-629-3757. That's it, man. We're done.
Attaboy. Good
it.
go, Manny.
Cool.
Good
We're
job.
out of here, guys. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. Okay, Angela.